Alright everyone, welcome back to my channel, Baseball Talk with Nick Morgan. Today is Saturday, October 24th, 2020, and the fourth game of the Fall Classic. It was a walk in the park for LA last night, backed by 6 innings of one-run baseball for the right-handed starter, Walker Buehler. The lineup plated 6 runs on 10 hits, which was enough to edge out the Rays and take a 2-1 series lead. This evening, the Dodgers give 24-year-old southpaw Julio Urias the ball, while the Rays start Ryan Yarbrough. Game 4 at Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas will begin momentarily, but first, let's take a look at Yarbrough's numbers this postseason. The left-handed pitcher stands 6'5", 205 pounds, and is just 28 years old. This postseason, he's pitched in 3 games, winning 1 of the 3, no decisions in the other 2, with a 3.38 ERA in 10 2/3 innings, striking out 6 batters, and accumulating a 1.31 WHIP. Now, the lineup he faces tonight stays very consistent from what we've seen with the Dodgers and Dave Roberts, with few exceptions. Leading off, the right-handed right fielder, Mookie Betts. Corey Seeger batting second, starting at shortstop defensively. Justin Turner, the third baseman, bats third after a huge Game 3 offensively at the plate. Max Muncy batting cleanup, followed up by Will Smith behind the plate, batting fifth. Slotted 6th and the designated hitter tonight is Cody Bellinger. A.J. Pollock follows him up in center field, batting 7th. Chris Taylor out in left field, batting 8th. And Enrique Hernandez starts at second base. The right-handed batter will bat 9th in the lineup. So there's your 1-9. That is who Ryan Yarbrough will be facing here in Game 4. A crucial game for the Tampa Bay Rays. If they lose tonight, they go down in the series 3-1 and tomorrow have to face off against Walker Buehler. Clayton Kershaw. Walker Buehler went ahead, shut them out last night. 6 innings, 1-run baseball. Again, tomorrow the Dodgers have Walker Buehler resting as Clayton Kershaw does go ahead and get the mound. I do not think Buehler will pitch on 1-day rest. So he will be available in the bullpen for later games in this series. We know we're at least going to a Game 5 in this best-of-7 set. Dodgers lead the series 2-1, and they are the away team tonight out in Texas at the neutral site, Globe Life Field in Arlington. Now, of course, this is the inaugural season of the stadium in which the Texas Rangers played their home games at this year. It was previously Globe Life Park in Arlington, Texas. That stadium is still up and open, but not housing Major League Baseball games. This new stadium cost a couple $1 billion to be built, but Texas started playing here in 2020, and the Dodgers have hit more home runs in the postseason at Globe Life Field than the Rangers did in 60 regular season games. Now, of course, they weren't home all 60 games, but throughout the course of the regular season, the Rangers have hit less home runs than the Dodgers here at the Rangers home stadium in the postseason. So there's just an interesting tidbit for you as we get this game going. Ryan Yarbrough on the mound. He's ready. Mookie Betts walking into the box, and he's ready. The first pitch of the game is going to be taken for ball 1, just north of the strike zone. Mookie Betts jumps ahead in the count. Let's take a look at Yarbrough's pitches. He relies on 4 pitches in his arsenal. A cutter, which he's going to use the majority of the time, 36%. Changeup, 30% of the time. He then relies on his sinker as his tertiary pitch, 23.4% usage. And then his curveball, right around 11% of the time, is his 4th pitch in his mix. If we look at miles per hour, his sinker, 87.3. And that is his main fastball. This one's going to be fouled back from Mookie Betts at 1 ball and 2 strikes. So the Dodgers' keys here for tonight's win is Julio Urias. He is their starting pitcher tonight, left-handed 24-year-old pitcher, but he started 9 days ago, and that was the game where the Dodgers beat up on the Braves in the first inning, scoring 11 runs. Now, Urias threw 101 pitches through 5 innings, then threw 3 scoreless innings of work in Game 7 of the National League Championship Series, which evidently would help the Dodgers go ahead and defeat the Braves, eliminating them from their postseason run. The count goes even, 2-2 now against Mookie Betts. But if Julio can look strong out there on the mound, go 5 or 6 innings, and then give the ball off to the bullpen for the best 3 or so innings of work, they're in good shape. Tampa, on the other hand, needs to score first. When they go ahead, get runs on the board early before their opponent, they're going to have success. They give the ball out to the bullpen, and that's where they see the bulk of, as Mookie Betts flies this one out into right field, foul territory. Yandy Diaz is there, the first baseman, to make the catch. The first out, so a pop out to first base in foul territory and one away. But as I was saying, the Rays, when they get ahead early, they score runs, they give the ball to their bullpen arms who lock it down for them and help with the most success. Now, the Dodgers have really beaten up on the head of the snake for the Rays in each of the following games. I mean, Snell looked really good against the LA lineup. However, Glasnow and Morton just did not have their best stuff against this National League representative team. And that's big if we do end up pushing games 6 and 7 when some of those guys are going to have to make their second starts of the set. Now, Corey Seager steps in and takes the ball on the outer third of the plate for ball 1. He comes into this evening with a .304 batting average in the postseason, 7 home runs, 16 ribbies, 2 stolen bases, and a 1.153 OPS as he takes a breaking ball down and away. The count goes 2-0. Yarbrough finds himself down in the count early, lefty-lefty matchup here. He'll resort to a pitch outside yet again, third time this at-bat, and for the third time it's going to miss. Corey Seager jumps ahead 3-0. Here in this one with Justin Turner in the on-deck circle. And what a night he had yesterday. His first 2 hits were extra bases. A solo home run in the first got the scoring going for the Dodgers, and they did not look back following that hit. Now, Corey Seager swings 3-0, and it's a line drive to the second baseman, Brandon Lau, but he's there to make the catch, and there are 2 away. Let's take you through the Tampa Bay Rays defense this evening. Mike Zunino behind the plate, catching for the left-handed starting pitcher, Ryan Yarbrough. Yandy Diaz at first, Brandon Lau at second, Mike Brosseau at third, and Willie Adames, the starting shortstop. From left to right in the outfield, Manny Margot, Kevin Kiermaier, and Hunter Renfroe. Randy Arozarena can maybe be heating up after last night's 9th-inning home run. Randy is the designated hitter, and will bat second for Tampa Bay tonight. Now, Turner is 4 for 13 in the World Series and hitting .232 in the postseason. He'll take a sinker inside for ball 1. 11 pitches for Ryan, who has gotten the first 2 batters retired without allowing a hit. He's 28 years old. Again, this is his 4th appearance in the 2020 postseason. In his postseason career, Ryan's pitched in 6 games with a 2-0 win-loss record, 2.63 ERA, striking out 7 batters over the course of 13 2/3 innings, and maintaining a 1.24 whip. Breaking ball, gonna miss south of the strike zone. It goes 2-0 to Justin Turner. His solo home run, as I mentioned just moments ago, really got the scoring going for the Dodgers last night. He sends this one out to straightaway center field. Kevin Kiermaier at the wall, and it's back-to-back nights. Justin Turner, a solo home run with 2 outs in the first inning. The Dodgers are on the board again here early on in the first. There you go. A solo home run from the Dodgers third baseman puts them on the board 420 feet on the distance. hit to straightaway center field. Kevin Kiermaier ran out of room at the wall and could not make the catch. He comes fairly close to it, though it was well out of his reach. Solid attempt there, but he had no chance at making that catch. Mookie Betts pops up in foul territory. Corey Seeger lines out to second. So 2 outs for Justin Turner and then a solo home run to straightaway center. Make it back-to-back nights with 2-out home runs in the first inning for Justin Turner. That is his 3rd home run of the postseason and his 6th RBI. He now leads the Los Angeles Dodgers in franchise history with the most postseason home runs in a single season. That'll bring up Max Muncy, who takes a strike. The count evens up at 1 ball and 1 strike here in the top of the first. The Dodgers have a 1-run lead. Justin Turner had a big night at the plate yesterday, getting it going already early on again tonight. And Muncy sees a front door breaking ball. It's 1-2. If Max Muncy gets on, Will Smith will be due up for his first plate appearance of the night. Muncy 4 for 11 in the World Series. And he'll line this one right into the gap, the right side of the infield. Willy Adames there to make the catch and throw over to first in time for the final out. So it's a 6-3 ground out there, but the Dodgers strike first yet again. 1 run on 1 hit, no men left on base. Justin Turner, the man of the hour, gets the scoring going. We head to the home half of the first. The Rays trail by 1. So Julio Urias takes the mound for LA. The left-handed starter is just 24 years old, but this is his 17th postseason appearance in his career. Here in the 2020 October season, he is 4-0 in 4 games with a .56 ERA in 16 innings, striking out 16 batters, and acquiring a .63 whip. Urias will be pitching with the lead as he makes his first appearance of the World Series as a starter here in 2020. He'll be facing off against Yandy Diaz to get it going, followed up by Randy Rosarena and Mike Brosseau. Again, Urias 4-0 in 4 games with a .56 ERA. Now, he's not necessarily a huge strikeout pitcher, as he averages 1 strikeout per inning this postseason. But if we look at 2020, he had 45 strikeouts in 55 innings, 26 strikeouts in 31 2/3 innings in his postseason career. He is going to get the outs. He's a reliable arm for sure. Strikeouts might not necessarily be his thing. We saw that with Charlie Morton yesterday, and of course, Charlie Morton struggled with the Tampa Bay Rays in his start in the 3rd game of the World Series. The Dodgers got to him early on. But again, Urias will be facing off against Yandy Diaz, Randy Rosarena, and Mike Brosseau here in the bottom of the first. We take a look at the full Tampa Bay lineup, and it goes as follows. Yandy Diaz, the right-handed first baseman, batting leadoff. Randy Rosarena, the designated hitter tonight, will bat second, followed up by Mike Rousseau starting at third base, slotted third in the order. Manny Margot batting cleanup, starting out in left field, followed up by Brandon Lowe, the left-handed second baseman, who's batting fifth. Willy Adames, the struggling shortstop, bats sixth. Hunter Renfroe, the right-handed right fielder, will bat seventh. Mike Zunino behind the plate, batting eighth. And Kevin Kiermaier in the 9-hole, the left-handed center fielder, just missed out on robbing the Justin Turner home run in the top of the first. So quite a few changes from Kevin Cash here as he manages Game 4 of the World Series for the Tampa Bay Rays. Kevin Kiermaier drops down a little bit in the lineup. Mike Zunino has been batting ninth most recently. He now moves up to the 8-hole. Kevin Kiermaier switches with the Rays backstop as Urias throws a fastball down the middle for strike one. We also see Hunter Renfroe out in right field. Rosarena is the designated hitter tonight as Margot takes over for him defensively. But Mike Rousseau makes a World Series appearance here in Game 4 as the Rays trail 2-1. Yandy Diaz evens the count out at 1 ball and 1 strike as he takes one outside of the zone. He's 2 for 5 here in the World Series. And we'll take called strike 2 on the inner third of the plate. Now, Urias has a 5-pitch mix consisting of a 4-seam fastball, curveball, changeup, and slider. Now, I do end with the slider there because his sinker he uses very little when he's out there on the mound, 0.5% of the time. Nonetheless, he will rely on that 4-seamer primarily. 55.9% usage is of his 4-seamer. The count evens back up at 2-2 for Yandy Diaz as he fouls this one back and will try it again. Yandy hitting 172 through 29 postseason at-bats. Still looking for his first home run, RBI, and or stolen bases. He has zeros across the board in those 3 categories. His OPS sits at 557. Entering this first at-bat. Pitch number 6. And Urias wins the battle. He blows a fastball by the leadoff batter, and that's strikeout number 1. Diaz goes down swinging. That'll bring up the rookie sensation, Randy Arozarena, who has passed Derek Jeter in most hits by a rookie in a single postseason. And that came last night off of Arozarena's solo home run in the 9th inning. That was the start and end of the Rays rally. That did not go very far, as they lost the game. 6-2 was the final. And Arozarena falls behind 0-1. He's 2 for 10 in the World Series with a home run and an RBI, as he takes strike 2 again. Not happy with the call, but well in the zone. So Urias jumps ahead in the count 0-2. And we'll try this one again. Now, the key for the Rays' success tonight is getting this rookie back on track as he spoils one straight back. We'll try it again. The count is 0-2. Arozarena hitting .354 in the postseason with 8 home runs and 11 RBIs. His first World Series home run came yesterday. And it came back in the 9th inning, as I previously stated. That could be the start of a comeback for this rookie who has not had a whole lot of success in the World Series. And as I say that, it's a single back up the middle, out of reach from the shortstop Corey Seeger, and Randy is aboard with a single. So that's what you need, and if you're Tampa Bay right now, you have to feel good about yourself. They really need to go ahead and get base runners early on. It's okay if they don't score them right away, but you need to have that knowledge and that comfort knowing that you can hit against the given starter. Yesterday, Walker Buehler was lights out on the mound, did not allow a hit until the 5th inning, and really restricted the Rays in terms of what they were capable of in the lineup each and every time Buehler faced them. Now a single here with one out in the bottom of the first from Randy Arozarena could be the key to what is either a rally or just the start of some form of momentum. Get the ball rolling here. A little single is now enough to bring up Mike Brosseau, who takes strike 1. There is a shift, as Mike is 1 for 3 with an RBI in the World Series. And he'll foul this one back and out of play, strike 2. 21 at-bats, hitting .238, 1 home run, 2 ribbies, and a .685 on-base plus slugging for the Rays' third baseman this evening. He is behind in the count 0-2, but Randy Arozarena leads off first. Both teams have collected their first hit here in the opening frame. I believe that is hit number 24 in the postseason for the rookie Randy, as Brosseau spoils back another one. Urias not able to have a quick inning, 13 pitches, 1 out, and he's given up a single. In the 2020 season, Julio pitched in 11 games, a 3-0 win-loss record, 45 strikeouts through 55 innings of work, a 3.27 ERA, and a 1.15 whip. The 0-2 to Brosseau, swing and a miss, strike 3, got him in a wave and miss. That is the second strikeout of the inning, and there are now 2 outs. 2 away now. The left-handed Julio Urias will face off against the Rays' right-handed cleanup batter. Then that's Manny Margot, starting off in left field defensively tonight. Manny steps into the box for his first plate appearance. And Urias will throw off speed right down the middle. Margot, way out in front, will swing and miss for strike 1. Manny hitting .400 in the World Series with a double, 3 runs, and stolen base. He's behind in the count on 1 with a runner on first. And will swing and miss, strike 2. Arozarena attempts to steal second. Hernandez apparently does not apply the tag in time. And it looks like the rookie sensation, Randy Arozarena, notches his first stolen base of the postseason. We'll see if the Dodgers want to review this play here. Arozarena with a good jump. The throw down and in time. Hernandez with a nice pick. And we'll see if he didn't apply the tag in time. We're getting the camera angles here. And it looks like Arozarena was indeed out, at least from the perspective I'm seeing in the camera angle right there. Of course, you guys can't see it, but essentially it's like a center field cam. You could see the glove on his leg and his foot not quite on the bag. The Dodgers do indeed challenge. The umpires are reviewing the play. And we'll see if Arozarena is safe or out. The Dodgers are running off the field. They feel like they have enough to overturn it. The umpires take off the headset, and the call is overturned. Arozarena was indeed out, so instead of stolen base number 1 here in the 2020 postseason, Arozarena is caught stealing for the 3rd and final out. No runs on 1 hit. No men left on base for the Rays. They ran themselves out of a potential run with 2 away, and we'll go to the top of the 2nd. So the Dodgers lead by 1, and the lineup that they will have leading off against Yarbrough here in the top of the 2nd is Will Smith, Cody Bellinger, and A.J. Pollock, your 5, 6, 7 batters respectively. We're getting into the lower chunk of the lineup here. Still due up Smith, Bellinger, and Pollock, as we will see at least. That is the bare minimum here in the top of the 2nd. But then Chris Taylor out in left field batting 8th, and Enrique Hernandez batting 9th. LA does have that nice 1-run lead that they're looking to add to, again, courtesy of the Justin Turner solo home run back in the opening frame. Yarbrough just made 1 mistake back in the first inning here of Game 4 on the mound. And that was a pitch right down the middle to Justin Turner. He got every stitch of that ball. Yarbrough has only allowed 1 hit, but it's cost him quite a bit, as it wasn't just the first hit, but also the first run of the game. So here we are. We go to the top half of the 2nd. Will Smith is going to be leading it off for the LA lineup through 58 at-bats this October. He's hitting .207 with 2 home runs, 13 RBIs, and a .632 on-base plus slugging. He is up there for team leaders in runs batted in for the Dodgers this October. The sole leader is Corey Seeger, as he has 16 runs batted in, but then Will Smith has 13. Cody Bellinger and Max Muncy both sit at 12 RBIs here in October baseball. You should do this in Major League Baseball for games on opening day. I usually do. For this year, I did stream the first bit of the Yankees-Nationals game. That was the first regular season game of the unprecedented delay to the 2020 season. And of course, with all the circumstances going on, I was just happy to have baseballs. I think majority of us fans were, no matter what it looked like and how the changes would come into play. I try to stream as many games as possible, mainly revolving around the New York Yankees. Are my favorite team. I'm the most knowledgeable when it comes to that organization. But of course, in these postseason moments, I try to cover as much as possible again, because this is a really important time, especially here in the World Series. We're getting closer and closer to crowning a champion for this 2020 season. Now, Will Smith steps in. The first pitch he sees will be fouled back for strike one. Yarbrough will get Smith to wave and miss at strike two, and he jumps ahead in the count early. I'm from LA. I really hope we win. All we had was pain the last few years. Yankees had it painful too. Yeah, I mean, the Dodgers have been so close ever since 2017. 3 pennants in 4 years. They made it to the World Series 2017, 2018, and now in 2020. Last year they were eliminated to the team that would go on and win it all, the Washington Nationals. They're back, better than ever, very literally. Mookie Betts, their pitching this year has been phenomenal. I mean, just this team has been a favorite for the World Series since the beginning of the year. And, ever since that trade that sent Mookie from Boston to LA, I mean, that's when I think everything started to really turn around, and it started to look really good for this Dodgers team. I mean, the company, the names that they have on this list, just insane. Lineup from top to bottom, very talented, as Will Smith beats out an infield base hit. Slow roller chopped to the third baseman, Mike Rossell. He has to make a tough running play in, gets a throw over, but just not quite in time, and it's leadoff single for the Dodgers backstop. Honestly, that was a stiff from the Red Sox. Oh, for sure. I mean, when the big piece for Boston is getting back Alex Verdugo in exchange for Mookie Betts and David Price, as well as a third team being involved, I mean, that is insane. Dodgers, I mean, we talked about it, I think, in my initial trade reaction video. Dodgers fleeced Boston 10 times out of 10. Definitely won the upper hand in that Mookie Betts trade. He's been incredible in the regular season, in the postseason. He's hitting .316 this October with 1 home run, 7 RBIs, 6 stolen bases, and 4 of them in the World Series, and an .885 OPS. There's conversation now. Is Mookie Betts starting to become the best player in baseball? Is he taking over for Mike Trout? I mean, that's a really tough conversation to have. Both are highly respected players who are very talented, great people on and off the field, but they have a lot of success to this point in their career. And as mentioned in the chat, his defense is also impeccable. He robs home runs, he's got speed, he hits the ball well, he can hit for contact, he can hit for power. He's just going to perform to the best of his ability each and every game in, game out. You know that's going to happen, and it looks like he might be locked up in a Dodgers blue uniform for the rest of his career. Not saying that's a bad thing, but huge contract extension this winter. The Dodgers did not waste any time making sure that he's a part of this organization for as long as possible in the foreseeable future. Cody Bellinger checks his swing on a 1-2 count. Ryan Yarbrough makes a great catch. That's a pitcher being an athlete right there. And what a play. Cody Bellinger definitely checks his swing. Just is not successful. I mean, he does check his swing, but makes contact with the ball. Willy Adames and Ryan Yarbrough, it looks like, almost collided. Sorry, Mike Rossell and Ryan Yarbrough, as there's a shift. And Adames was covering second base. But Big out right there for Yarbrough. He helps himself out with that catch. One away, Will Smith on first, and that brings up A.J. Pollock, who I actually met when he was with the Arizona Diamondbacks a few years ago, have his autograph. And a slightly blurry photo. He was kind of running through right down the line, just signing and moving his way down. But I'm a big fan of Pollock. Like to see him have success here out in LA. He's 0 for 2 in the World Series, small sample size this year, but 2 strikeouts. Let's see if he can notch his first hit of the Fall Classic here in the 2020 season. In this at-bat, he's ahead of the count 1-0. Again, Will Smith leads off of first as the Dodgers have a 1-run lead here in the top of the second. Pollock swings and misses at a pitch just below the knees. The count is even now. Chris Taylor in the on-deck circle. Now, the Rays are 18-8 this season, including the postseason, following a loss. So, we will see if they can bounce back. I mean, bounce back, it's a one-run game in the second inning. But we'll see if they can go ahead and even this series up at 2 wins apiece with a Game 4 victory. Pollock dribbles this in front of the catcher, Mike Zunino. He will just go ahead and get the Dodgers center fielder as Will Smith advances into scoring position. So a 2-3 ground out off the bat of the right-handed center fielder. Smith does move up to second, but at the expense of out number 2. And in steps Chris Taylor. We've seen him at second base recently defensively and batting in this bottom third of the lineup. However, tonight, he's starting out in left field, giving Enrique Hernandez the start at second on the field. And Taylor is 3 for 11 in the World Series with 1 home run and 3 RBIs. Honestly thought Yankees were really strong in the beginning of the year, especially the pitching and especially the Yanks because they had Cole. They made it all the way. I mean, they seem to be the AL favorites very early on, at least up until the beginning of the season. I mean, Garrett Cole was a huge acquisition for them this winter. It looked like that might have been their final piece needed, at least for a World Series berth, and they came, a few outs away from making it to the championship series against the Rays. Sorry, against what would have been the Astros, but they lost to Tampa Bay. Great series. I mean, they looked interesting in the regular season. Started off really well. I believe they went like 16 for 6 after an 8-1 start to the year, something like that. Don't quote me word for word on those numbers, but something along those lines. They were one of the best teams in baseball, through the first 10 games of the year. And I feel like we saw this with a lot of teams, but just New York struggled to the sense where they would have really great streaks and then stretches where they could not get a win. When they won a ball game, it looked like they can never lose. And when they lost, it's like, how does this team win games? Because their offense is either so incredibly good one day and then just outright terrible the next, or it'd be the opposite and the pitching would just be out of this world, either in a good way or a bad way. I mean, of course, Chapman is the big narrative, especially in the postseason, Game 7 against the Rays. Chapman's a beast, but he always seems to choke in important moments. Yeah, I mean, back-to-back years, he gave up the go-ahead and what ended up being winning run on a solo home run in a Game 7 matchup. So it's tough because that should be our closer. We usually bring him into games expecting success out of him. I just kind of thought, I was live for that game, for Game 7 of the division series. But I was very confused when he came in the bottom of the 7th. I thought it was very premature bringing him in. And then, especially in the bottom of the 8th, 3 right-handed batters were due up. And we were leaving in the left-handed Aroldis Chapman, who had already gotten an out or two in the previous inning. I don't know. I did not like him in that scenario. And I said it before Brasso hit that home run. I said, I don't know why he's in the game. But is what it is, you know. Hopefully, at least from my behalf as a Yankees fan, we can come back and get the ball rolling and make it all the way next year. But, you know, at the beginning of the year, we thought it was going to be a Yankee-Dodger matchup, and it would have made for a great series. But Rays and Dodgers, just as good, very competitive. The two best teams in baseball. And Chris Taylor will strike out swinging following the 3-2 pitch. First strikeout of the game for Ryan Yarbrough, and that ends the inning. Following the leadoff single, Ryan retires the next three guys in order. No runs on one hit and one man left on base in scoring position nonetheless. That was Will Smith, who got stranded at second. We go to the home half of this second inning. I'm afraid of our closer, Jansen. Sometimes he throws some games. I mean, yeah, Kenley has definitely had his fair share of up and down moments in 2020. I remember, you know, past few years, he's been one of the most dominant bullpen arms, at least in LA. He struggled a little bit. I'm going to bring up his numbers here for everyone currently in the stream. In the postseason, a 4.26 ERA in 7 games. 2 saves, 6 1/3 innings, 7 strikeouts, and a .79 whip. So 4.26 ERA is a little scary. And as a reliever, that is at the point where you could potentially lose your starting role or your primary role in this closing spot. Like Kenley Jansen, right? 4.26 ERA. Just take him, for example, here. In 7 games, he's pitching an inning, maybe a little more, maybe a little less, every time he comes out on the mound. So for that short period of time, a 4.26 ERA, maybe not the best, especially with other guys having success this year in the back end of that bullpen for LA. He's been very spotty. In the 2020 regular season, 3-1 win-loss record, 3.33 ERA, 11 saves, 24 innings, 33 strikeouts, and a 1.15 whip. I mean, not terrible, but definitely not at his best form. He struggled. I mean, in 2019, he was out for quite some time, only pitched an inning and 2/3. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what we get out of Jansen. And inning and 2/3, that's in the postseason. Hey, hello Action Jackson, David Rio, hello Robbie Hyde. Yeah, we were talking in the comment section of one of my postseason videos. And I'm actually a big fan of his. I watch his content, and he seems to watch mine, so that's awesome. Thank you for all coming over here and supporting the channel. If you guys are over here from me and want to go ahead and support another really entertaining and just a guy who knows what he's talking about when it comes to baseball, Robbie Hyde, great channel, love his content. He does a bunch of live streams as well, just like this one. So if you're from my channel originally, go check out Robbie Hyde. I'm sure he's live right now covering Game 4 of the World Series. Go to the bottom of the second. I have to go ahead and change my scoreboard. But thank you to everyone coming over from Robbie's channel. I appreciate it. Guys, go ahead and check out Robbie Hyde. I will link his channel in the description of this video once the stream comes to an end. Let's go ahead here, change the inning. Bottom of the second, LA has a lead. We have some chats in here. Hello, Hayden. Hello to everyone in the stream right now. Kershaw has his ups and downs in the playoffs. That is for sure the case. However, just the other day, he was amazing. Clayton Kershaw in Game 1 of the World Series. He's set to start Game 5 tomorrow. I mean, phenomenal. And that is going to be a lot of fun to watch that narrative and that storyline continue to play out. Where do you think JT Realmuto will sign? This one's a tough one because a lot of teams are in the market for a catcher. Personally, I think with the New York Mets, Steve Cohen coming in with the big bucks wants to go ahead and make some moves. He said it. He's made that very clear. But I would not be surprised if one of either Trevor Bauer or JT Realmuto at least are in very considerate conversations with the New York Mets. I do think that's a possibility. I think they're going to spend money. The Wilpons not used to doing that, but Steve Cohen's going to come in now and really want to make some change and get this Mets team to a postseason and further, as Urias strikes out Manny Margot to get the bottom of the second going. I do think that JT Realmuto has a chance at staying with Philadelphia. It's hard to say right now who he's going to sign with. I don't know, because of course, if you guys aren't aware, free agents up until this point, so like 2020 free agents, JT Realmuto being one of them, Trevor Bauer, eliminated from the postseason, yes, but they cannot start having conversations with teams until 5 days after the conclusion of the World Series. So we currently don't know who's in on JT or who's in on Trevor Bauer. I mean, obviously, there's a big market for both, but the exact teams that are going to be targeting them, we're not quite sure of. I can also see Realmuto going to a contending team this year, like the San Diego Padres, who came close, just missed out a little bit. That would be a signing I wouldn't be shocked by. Or Trevor Bauer goes out there, as Mookie Betts just continues to have the great glove in right field, makes a jumping catch to rob Brandon Lau of a hit. That's a line out to right, 2 away. So yeah, JT, I honestly think he's going to go to a team who has a very bright future in 2021, 2022. Make it the Mets, or like the Padres, or a team along those lines. Even if he stays with Philly, I would not be surprised either. Springer, Brantley, and Red are going to be free agents. For the Astros, yeah, I mean, we have a lot of free agent talent here in the 2021 winter. The 2020 winter going into the 2021 season. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun just kind of watching how things played out. Last year, there was a big 3. Obviously, Garrett Cole, Steven Strasburg, Anthony Rendon. But I think it's going to be a little more interesting this year. There's going to be a lot more action, I want to say. And I mean, previously, Manny Machado and Bryce Harper were headlining the winter. But this year, Trevor Bauer coming off of a great season. JT Realmuto out there again. As mentioned in the chat, a few Astros. It's going to be fun. And a lot of teams who just missed out this year, either on a postseason, even with the expanded bracket, or just like were eliminated early on. Padres, I really like the San Diego Padres. Moving forward, we're going to have a lot of success. And they're a team who I wouldn't be surprised making a few splashes and dipping in, spending some money. I mean, we saw them at the deadline picking up Mike Clevenger, and they sent a whole bunch of guys out, had some really nice returns, some offensive pieces. That's a team that's going to go far. And honestly, just as a baseball fan and as a huge Trevor Bauer fan, my favorite athlete professionally right now, I mean, Trevor Bauer and Mike Clevenger in the same San Diego Padres rotation, I think would be so much fun. Like reuniting the two. Willie Adames is going to go ahead and fly out to A.J. Pollock out in center field. That ends the inning. 3 up, 3 down for Julio Urias. No hits, no runs, no men left on base. We go to the top of the third. The Dodgers look to tack on to their 1-run lead. Trevor would be good in San Diego. Yeah, I think so too. I personally would love to see him come to the Yankees. I know that's probably not possible because trying to cut down on payroll, we still want to go ahead and try at least to re-sign DJ LeMahieu. I think we'll make a solid attempt at it, but LeMahieu is another big free agent who, if he doesn't return to the Yankees, going to be huge if he goes elsewhere. Didi Gregorius is a free agent for the middle infield. He had a nice bounce back year after an injury-plagued 2019. A lot of guys, a lot of big names who are going to impact whatever team they sign with. We've mentioned them already. Didi Gregorius, DJ LeMahieu, Trevor Bauer, JT Realmuto, the Astros, outfielders and everyone out there. So a lot of moves. It's going to make for some good conversations, some good content, some good headlines in Major League Baseball as we go into November and we approach the winter. I'm an LA fan, but San Diego developing is good. We will have a rivalry soon enough. Yeah, most definitely. I mean, San Diego was one of the better teams record-wise in the NL in this shortened 60-game season. I was really excited. I mean, Fernando Tatis Jr. is electric. Manny Machado had a really good year. Their rotation, Dinelson Lamet, he had some time when he was healthy and he was doing well. Chris Paddock, I mean, just that team is really coming together nicely. And then Will Myers, Eric Hosmer, just Jake Cronenworth as a rookie performed well. Trent Grisham along the same lines was a nice young outfielder for them. So that's a team that is going to develop and be very bright in the near future and have a lot of upcoming success. Yeah, they were coming for the Dodgers. And I thought that series would have been a little more interesting between LA and San Diego. Of course, the obvious pick there was the Dodgers to move on. And obviously it is. We are now in the World Series with them being the National League representatives. But I think there is going to be a point where the Padres and Dodgers are really battling it out neck for neck. Maybe not necessarily 2021, but that's definitely a possibility. I'm interested to see how teams do, though, in a 162-game season and how that correlates to the abbreviated 2020 year. I mean, we know 60 games, it's 102 games less than we're used to in a regular season. So San Diego looked very intimidating, most definitely, just to kind of build off a chat comment here. But I assume San Diego can keep that pace up moving forward and going into a full 162-game year. At least I would hope for that to be the case because that's the team I am rooting for. One of my favorites out in the NL, and I'm going to be cheering them on. So the Padres have a bright future ahead. And going back to their division rivals now, the Dodgers, we head to the top of the third. LA leads TB 1-0 here in this one, and Kike Hernandez falls behind in the count 0-2. This is his first time up here in Game 4. All they did is drop bombs. Yeah, I mean, that team can hit. Fernando Tatis Jr., Manny Machado, Eric Hosmer, Will Myers. That team just top to bottom is very talented, and a lot of them are pretty young. Kike Hernandez tries to go ahead and beat out an infield hit. Now, the call on the field is out. I don't know if it was close enough for the Dodgers to want to go ahead and review it again, but we'll see in just a moment. Really nice play there from Mike Brosseau to get the ball in time and the throw over to Yandy Diaz, but Hernandez was indeed out. The ball did beat him to the bag. So, one away now for the Los Angeles Dodgers lineup here in the away half of the third inning. We're going to flip the lineup card over for Mookie Betts. He is hitless through only one at-bat here in Game 4. He popped up to the first baseman, Yandy Diaz, in foul territory to lead off this ball game and falls behind 0-1 to Ryan Yarbrough, who has thrown 39 pitches through 2 1/3 innings. My take on LeMahieu, well, I think he is definitely, easily to say, the most impactful player on the New York Yankees. From top to bottom, he is consistent. He can hit for the occasional power. He obviously hits for contact. He was the batting average leader throughout Major League Baseball here in 2020. The first person in Major League Baseball history to win the batting title at least one time in both leagues. Of course, dating back to, I believe, 2016 with the Rockies as Mookie Betts flies out to center for the second out. But LeMahieu is very good, and he is someone who, in his early 30s, I believe he's 32 years old, is still performing well. A lot of people said, as he made his way over to New York, they were skeptical because they thought that maybe the Coors effect played a part in his success, and he proved them wrong very quickly. I mean, an average very high throughout a 162-game season and a 2020 season of 60 games. We'll go ahead, and I'll bring up his exact numbers right now just because I do want to emphasize that he is one of the better Yankees, obviously, all throughout. Let's see. Let's pull up his numbers here. But I really hope the Yankees bring him back. I think they will. I believe DJ wants to be there. And obviously the Yankees want to have him there because of his success. He has been probably the team MVP, or definitely one of them offensively these past years. I mean, he's someone that you want to have on the team, not necessarily because of his presence in the dugout or in the clubhouse alone, but just because of how well-rounded he is. In 2019, a .327 batting average in 145 games. That's 602 at-bats. Now, in this 60-game season, he appeared in 50 games, 195 at-bats, hitting .364, a .421 on base, a .590 slugging, an OPS of 1.011, and 10 home runs, 27 RBIs, 18 walks. He gets on base. He's going to strike out his fair share of times. He will swipe a few bases. He's a very valuable player. And if it wasn't for Jose Ramirez, I do think LeMahieu would be up there for AL MVP talks in 2020. I think the switch hitting infielder for Cleveland will take home that title, especially for his efforts in September. Corey Seager, on a 2-2 count with 2 outs, absolutely punishes that baseball. It's a solo home run to right field. That's the second solo shot with 2 outs in this game. Corey Seager makes it a 2-0 ball game now. Gives the Dodgers a 1-run lead with 1 swing of the bat. That ball is estimated to go 411 feet, 105 mile per hour exit velo off the bat. What a swing right there. That's Seager's 8th home run in the postseason, and that ties for the most all-time in a single postseason. His 8th homer of October, and that is his 17th RBI. But as I was saying before, Jose Ramirez, I think, is definitely at least a top 3 favorite for the MVP. That Cole contract was huge. Oh, without a doubt. Locking him up for the Yankees is going to prove very beneficial very soon. He did well in 2020, but I think once the Yankees win a World Series, he's going to play a huge factor in that, obviously. Which division will be the most exciting and close of a call in 21? That is a very good question. You have to think about it here and the effects that free agency is going to take place on any given team. I do think the AL East will be fun. I'm not saying that's going to be the most competitive, but I think the AL East will be fun. The Toronto Blue Jays really proved themselves this year. Granted, in an abbreviated season, but with the team that they have, young stars, they got out early in the postseason, but that's a team that can definitely grow, and with a few moves, could be very good down the line. And then the Rays and the Yankees, they're going to continue to be nonstop. Justin Turner pokes this one to center field on a 1-2 count. That'll get down for a single, his second hit of the night. The inning continues with 2 outs. With the AL East, the Yankees, Rays, Blue Jays, I think are going to be fun. The NL West is going to be very competitive with the Dodgers and Padres. Other than that, though, the D-backs were kind of out of it this year. And Giants were an interesting team. Rockies were so-so. NL West, maybe not so much. It's going to be close with the Dodgers and Padres, but everyone else in the division, I don't think it's going to be close. Overall, I'd maybe go with the NL Central. That was tight this year, and I think going forward, that will remain to be very close, especially if Bauer sticks with Cincy. But again, free agency is really going to play a crucial role in how teams do and how that's going to impact the division. And how close it is going into the 2021 season. Corey Seager has been on fire. Oh, most definitely. This guy's been fun to watch. Seager is better than Turner. I mean, honestly, both have been very good. Actually, Hayden, I don't know if you mean Trey Turner or Justin Turner. Obviously, Trey Turner and Corey Seager, same position, so I'd assume you mean Trey. In that case, either way, I do think Seager would be the better player there, so I agree. Turner yesterday did great, of course. 2 hits in his first 2 at-bats yesterday with a solo home run and a double. He now has 2 hits through his first 2 at-bats today, a home run and a single. Max Muncy has to jump out of the way for this ball that runs inside. The count goes 3-0. 2 outs and Turner on first. Applying pressure early on. Yeah, the Dodgers are in this. They want to go ahead and get a very competitive and controlling 3-1 lead in the series. I just joined. Where do you think Turner will sign? Let's see here. Turner. Is Turner a free agent this year? Let's see. Here we go. Where Turner's going to go, I'm not sure. For Bauer, I said I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to San Diego or maybe like another team that's very close in competition. Like the Mets, I said that they might want to start spending money now with Steve Cohen coming in. He seems to really want to go ahead and make a change with this organization, which I think is great. You'd say the NL and AL East, maybe the AL Central would be the closest. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of really fun teams and a lot of heavy competition in 2021. It'll be a fun year. Very disappointed with the Cubs. Yeah, I mean, they made it far. Regular season-wise, did well as Max Muncy draws a walk. Turner will advance to second. Muncy is aboard now with 2 outs. Yarbrough struggling, 56 pitches, 2 2/3 innings. He has 2 guys on, and he's allowed 2 runs already. I'm realizing I have not adjusted the score. Apologies for that. And guys, also in the chat, I'm going to get to each and every comment here. I've been trying to go in depth with conversation here. So if I haven't gotten to yours yet, I will get to your comments. But I love the conversations that we're having. Keep it up. Thank you all so much. And thank you all for joining. So yeah, Cubs, definitely disappointing. Very good regular season. Of course, with a few exceptions. Their pitching was a little rough around the edges. And then losing to the Marlins in the opening set of the postseason was interesting. I definitely did not see that coming, at least the sweep nonetheless. And Twins, yeah, the Twins are going to be a team that are competitive but had a really rough end to the season. A team like the Cubs that was just mentioned. I mean, Minnesota swept by Houston. That was something I was not necessarily expecting either. Most boring is the NL West, anyway, with always the Dodgers. Yeah, the Dodgers definitely have a commanding lead in the NL West any given season, especially winning 3 pennants in the last 4 years. And I don't think they're losing very many guys this winter, so the team that they have this World Series is going to be very similar to the 2021 opening day roster. You're a Dodgers fan, so it's great for you? Oh yeah, I'm sure. I mean, even for the Yankees are a great team. So for me, it's a whole lot of fun to watch them. Just I know to expect some sort of tragic ending, at least these past few seasons. Got to enjoy it while it lasts. Yeah, the Dodgers are going to be a good team, I think, for quite some time though. Who do you think are the all-stars for the Mets in the 2021? Let's see. So Mets all-stars in 2021. I want to see Pete Alonso have a bounce-back year. I mean, he definitely went through the sophomore slump in 2020, especially with, I think, the 60-game season. That didn't help him much and his numbers. So I'd like to see Alonso come back. I think Michael Conforto definitely can step up into that leadership role and be someone who performs extremely well. I like Conforto for that as like an all-star type player. Also, I mean, I really do think that the Mets will get one of the big free agents. So it might not be Bauer, it might not be Ramito. It could be one or both of them. But they will make, I think, some moves with Cohen coming in. And that's huge. So whoever they bring in, I think, will want to obviously go ahead and prove themselves their first year with the new organization. As Will Smith checks his swing, it's a little dribbler back to Ryan Yarbrough. And that is going to go ahead and be out number 3. A 1-3 ground out. Ends the top of the third. And the Dodgers add on another run. via a Corey Seeger solo shot this time around. Then 2 more singles after that. Or Turner with a single, and then Muncy with a walk. So 1 run on 2 hits, 2 men left on base in the top of the third. We head to the home half of the frame to see if the Rays can slowly start to chip away here. The A's always disappoint. They've come really close, and they're going to have a season to remember. I think losing Matt Chapman definitely played a big role there in the postseason, but they have a really good team. I like Oakland. I do, and I'm rooting for them. Tough way to end it and go out this year in the postseason. Like tragic storyline like we've kind of been mentioning with the Twins and the Yankees and the Cubs. But the A's are going to have their year. They're going to go ahead and be very successful. They're going to continue to push forward. They might make a few moves going into 2021. They're a team who has been atop of their division the past few seasons and just missed out the past few years. And much like the Padres now who are up and coming, and the Astros in this season as a second place team, or, rather not a second place team, but, just a team who didn't necessarily do well. The A's are going to have success, and they're going to do well. They're going to have a year. They really come out of the gate swinging, and everything starts to click. Yeah, okay, so we get a chat here in the stream talking about the Jock Peterson trade that almost happened with the Los Angeles Angels, and I honestly completely forgot about that until right now. But I do remember that going on and all the speculations and the rumors that were being made with Jock Peterson going out to the other Los Angeles team. He would be in a Halos uniform. I don't remember what fell through with that, but I completely forgot that that was even a thing going into this season. You thought the A's would knock out the Astros? Honestly, I kind of did too. And I think that was my prediction in the video that I had go out. But Oakland and Houston, I thought the A's would go ahead and win it, but the Astros have just been proving us wrong ever since this big scandal that came out last winter. Honestly, want the A's to win it all. Eventually, they deserve it. Definitely underdogs. Yeah. Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. Let's see. We got a comment here. So, for Mets All-Stars in 2021, Alonso, DeGrom, Conforto, McNeil. I agree. I didn't touch on Jeff McNeil, but that's a huge point. Obviously, Jacob DeGrom. I didn't really think of that in terms of defense and on the mound, but Jacob DeGrom is an all-star 100%. And I believe Marcus Stroman is going to be with the team. I want to go ahead and make sure he's not a free agent this year. See, Marcus Stroman, free agency. I think if he's not a free agent, it's a 1-run deal. Oh no. It does look like Marcus Stroman is a free agent. So if Stroman signs with the Mets, again, if he comes back, that'll be a nice rotation of DeGrom, Syndergaard coming back from Tommy John, and then of course with Marcus Stroman. Now, if they don't sign Stroman, I think that gives them even more reasons to go out and try to get Bauer, which would be huge. DeGrom, Bauer, and Syndergaard in the same rotation. Extremely good. Very filthy. And Alonso's last week of the regular season, he was coming back, 3 homers in 24 hours. Yeah. I think Alonso is due for that bounce back year. And this was a weird season. A lot of guys had down years and rough numbers. I brought up Christian Yelich yesterday. He hit just over 200. As Hunter Renfroe lines this one over to Chris Taylor in left field for the first out at the bottom of the third. But I bring up Yelich. He wasn't a guy who hit for average, I believe just north of 200. He still had 12 home runs, 24 RBIs. Honestly, batting average is really a statistic that's starting to lose its value, almost in a sense, where that's not really metrics that a lot of fans and a lot of guys who are into all the analytics are looking at. Of course, in a batting average award, obviously that matters, but overall production, I think, is more important than batting average at this day and age. A's fans are... Yeah, I agree with you there, Outcast. What do you think the Mets, or who do you think the Mets will grab if they can only grab one, Rom? You or Bauer? Okay, so I think JT would be very impactful on that team. However, I would see the Mets targeting Bauer over Almito, especially if it comes down to they want to pick one of the top two guys in the market. I think they're going to go to Bauer because they have had times where their pitching is just not great. And to that point, though, on the opposite end of the spectrum here, we have seen games, and in 2019 and 2020, where Jacob deGrom is out there giving it 110%, and the Mets offense just cannot put it together. However, I think the Mets will go for Bauer over JT, and then go for like a Jackie Bradley Jr. almost, or one of the Astros outfielders that hit free agency this year. Like, they can go for another bat, maybe, instead of Realmuto, because I think he might come with a high price tag. I believe at one point, this might have just been rumors going around, but like he wanted like $200 million, which is a lot for a catcher right now. Padres and Dodgers will have a ton of good games. Oh yeah, I mean, Dodgers-Padres are going to be a fun rivalry in 2021. Both teams are set up for a lot of success. Angels got Rendon, yeah. Yep, Angels got Rendon instead of a few guys and instead of trades and stuff. Semien fires Hendricks, Soria, LaStella, all free agents. Wow, okay. I remembered Marcus Semien. I did not realize Hendricks was a free agent for the Oakland A's going into this winter. That's interesting, especially coming off of the AL Reliever of the Year award title, which was announced today. He got the Mariano Rivera Award for the 2020 season. I did not realize that, Gaming Sean. Thank you for that. Now, I don't know the entire free agent class this year, so that's why I'm kind of like hesitating when it comes to guys. I don't necessarily know names off the top of my head who are free agents minus the big names. And Zunino works a walk here in the bottom of the third, so he's aboard now for Kevin Kiermaier. So that's a lot of guys leaving the A's, but I think Oakland will have Semien back. I mean, I don't see why not. Hendricks, I think, will probably also at least be in talks with the Athletics organization. Fires may go elsewhere. I mean, I feel like there's other guys that they can go for. Soria may come back. LaStella's good. He was picked up a nice little piece at the trade deadline. And let's see here. Kevin Kiermaier is going to go ahead and strike out for 2 away. Noah Syndergaard is overrated. Yeah, it's tough with Syndergaard because he's had some really good seasons and some really good times, but leading up to that Tommy John injury, he just looked rough around the edges. He was not to the same form as previous years. So hopefully Tommy John is that switch he needs, that click and that connection that has to be made for him to come back and really have a great bounce back year in 2021, which I believe he is slated to come back for. Hopefully Syndergaard can have some extent, some success this upcoming season, and that's definitely going to go ahead, help out the top of the rotation for New York. Favorite player in the MLB this year has got to be Mookie Betts. He's been amazing. Love watching him, especially under Dodger Blue, how he's on our side. So, obviously, yeah, Mookie Betts has just been amazing. As I mentioned a little while ago, he is in conversations now, at least with A-Rod and David Ortiz and Frank Thomas that we're all talking about in the pregame show today. Is Mike Trout now the second best player in Major League Baseball to Mookie Betts? That's a hard conversation to have. Both very respected guys, amazing on and off the fields. That's a tough conversation. Maybe a video that has to go up on the channel. this winter, or once we go ahead and end the World Series. That might be something I have to upload, but that's tough. Mookie Betts is definitely a top player who has the potential to be the number one overall in the game. My favorite team this year, of course, is the New York Yankees, as every year. My favorite player this year, however, so I have a few different categories to favorite player. My favorite athlete, so of course, obviously he's going to be a favorite player as well, but my favorite athlete is Trevor Bauer. Hands down, love what he's doing for the game, love just his personnel, or his persona on and off the fields. He's just the guy who's really doing some great things for the sport. You have to appreciate him, you have to look up to him. And I've been a fan of his since his Cleveland days, and obviously before the trade over to Cincinnati where he chucked the ball over the center field wall out in Kaufman. He's just a great athlete and just such a fun guy to watch. Love the vlogs, love the YouTube stuff, and the social media platforms that he has. So Bauer's my favorite athlete. Brett Gardner is my favorite New York Yankee. He's also a free agent this winter. And then other than those two, my favorite player is Josh Donaldson. And I grew up playing on the Blue Jays in my local Little League and stuff. So I played on the Blue Jays. One day I decided to watch a Toronto Blue Jay game, and Josh Donaldson really just stuck out to me. And for obvious reasons, he was so good. The bringer of rain, and that was his core, in his prime in those early years, the Toronto Blue Jays, the middle 2010s decade. Yandy Diaz strikes out to end the inning. 1 hit, no runs, 1 man left on base. No hits, no runs, 1 man left on base. Mike Zunino worked a walk there in that inning. We're going to go to the top of the 4th. This game is still 2-0. All right, updating the scoreboard here. I'm going to get back to chats at the moment. Let's see, where did I leave off here? I'm a Sox fan, so seeing Bradley on the Mets is going to make me a bit sad. And I know he's not known for hitting, but his defense is so amazing. Yeah, honestly, quality baseball. I think that's almost what the Mets need more of, in a sense. If they do go after Jackie Bradley Jr., they would use him primarily for his defense. Not saying that the Mets necessarily need a defensive outfielder, but I don't think it would hurt them to pick someone up and to have a JBJ on the roster. He can swing the bat, just he's not known for it, as you mentioned. So, I don't know. I mean, there's a bunch of middle-ranged outfielders who hit the market that the Mets could potentially pick up. But you want to go ahead and have someone out there with Michael Conforto, who is going to be the primary outfielder patrolling, wherever he is, whether it's left, right, or center. Concern with Syndergaard is he won't come back until around the All-Star game because of Tommy John. So once he comes back, the rotation, he's all set with DeGrom, potentially Bauer, Peterson, Stroman, and Lugo. He is going to come back in 2021. But when he does make his return, I'm not saying out of the gate, game one, he has to be lights out. But he does have to have control and be able to manage his stuff, work up and down the lineup multiple times, and, give the Mets some depth into starts. 4 or 5 innings. He may be on some sort of pitch limit just because he's coming back from major arm surgery. But I do think he will be a big key to that rotation, especially if they get Bauer. The Mets would have to re-sign Stroman in that case for free agency. He's a big guy on Twitter and on social media as well. Marcus Stroman, that is. So he's a free agent. We'll see where he goes. Do you think the A's will make any big free agent moves this year? I think their big moves will be defined as bringing back a Semien and a Hendricks to move forward, because they almost had enough to make it at least a little bit further, beating the Astros to the championship series. They missed out by a hair, a fraction of a game, as Cody Bellinger steps in to get the top of the 4th going against Ryan Yarbrough. And he'll take strike one. But I think the majority of the Athletics moves will be bringing back free agents, as pointed out earlier in the chat. They have a lot of guys who have been big on that team, with Semien and Hendricks and LaStella now, as he was traded to the team this season. I think if they bring those names back, that will kind of go ahead and make up for their big moves. However, they can go ahead and sign some middle tier free agents as well. I don't think that would hurt them. Maybe someone who's not expensive, or like a rental, like a 1-2 year contract with someone who will help on both sides of the baseball. But I don't think that the Athletics are going to pick up a Bauer or a Realmuto. At least I don't think they'll be in the discussion for guys like that and go after top free agents. No idea why we traded Donaldson. It still hurts me. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I would have loved the bringer of rain to be in a Toronto uniform for his entire career. Then he bounced around a little bit. Of course, he was out in Cleveland, played with the Twins. That's where he is now. He was with the Braves for quite some time. And honestly, he's a really good athlete. And I think one of his highlight moments this year was being ejected after showing up the umpire following his home run. He takes a strike call, which was out of the zone a little bit, up for interpretation. I believe, I don't remember exactly where the ball is located. But where I was going with that was, he takes a called strike from the home plate umpire, not thrilled, very next pitch, solo or home run. And he kind of takes his time trotting around the bases, goes ahead, touches home plate, kicks the dirt on it, shows up the umpire, immediately gets ejected. I don't think the Yankees will sign Bauer because he's so controversial, and the Yankees like to be a very professional and firm ball club, and then just won't want the drama. I definitely see that. I also just think realistically the Yankees don't have the money to sign Bauer. Now, Trevor and his agent, Rachel Lupa has said that that it's a possibility for Bauer to sign very small contracts, 1 to 2 years, just so he can kind of go ahead and get a feel for different atmospheres. He wants to be on winning teams, but he also wants to go ahead and not feel locked up, which I think is honestly very smart. And just with the way the game is going right now, you might want to go ahead and just kind of expand, your palette and where you go and where you play. But if Bauer does sign a 1-2 year deal, maybe the Yankees would be in the talks. As you said, they are more of a professional team to an extent. But I think with the way that the game is going right now as a sport, Major League Baseball, we need more players to go ahead and express themselves and let the kids play. Take that mantra into full effect. We want to see more bat flips. We want to see pitchers getting excited, as Trevor Bauer does, for example, on the mound after recording a big out or getting out of an inning with a jam. Like, that's something that should be allowed, let alone merely tolerated. It's weird how fans and how the commissioner has viewed letting people celebrate, or letting players celebrate just big accomplishments in games. So I wouldn't see the Yankees making that a restriction as to why they wouldn't go out and sign Bauer. I just think there are also other reasons as to why he will not, or there's a chance he won't be acquired by New York, money being one of them. But if he does come over to the Yankees, I would, love that. Favorite athlete, favorite team. I mean, that's a great combination right there. But aside from that, I do think the Yankees are just deadly right there. Garrett Cole and Trevor Bauer back-to-back in the rotation would be insane. And I do think that would be a lot of fun if the Yankees can go ahead and successfully sign Bauer outage. Okay, here, let's get some more chats in. Carlos Carrasco was amazing. It's not what happened to him. I hope he recovers. Yeah, so for those of you not familiar with Carlos Carrasco, he did have cancer, and he went through, I believe it was leukemia, and he went through all the treatments. He's doing better now. He pitched this year and was amazing for Cleveland. Love Cookie. I just think he is, such a great guy and a role model and inspiration to his fans, to the organization, to players all around. Carrasco is definitely someone to keep an eye out for. Just a great storyline with Cookie. A.J. Pollock going to go ahead and drop in a double over the head of right fielder Hunter Renfroe. Bellinger was recorded out to lead off the fourth. But now A.J. Pollock is on board with a double and in scoring position now for Chris Taylor. I can see Paxton going to the Angels, maybe with Tanaka. That's a nice bold prediction right there. Depending on how much money the Yankees can work with this free agency, and because of big contracts and Garrett Cole being the main one right there, the Yankees are trying to get under the payroll this year, and they don't want to have a whole lot of money being distributed. So the owners might not let Cashman spend a whole lot this November and December and so on leading up to spring training. But Tanaka is going to be important. He has been a reliable pitcher for the Yankees. He's had his ups and downs, of course, like every other player, like every other team. He isn't always going to be lights out. But he will be a strong arm in that rotation. You need to back Garrett Cole with some guys, and if you lose Tanaka, that's going to be tough. You're coming to work with Luis Severino, who I believe will be making an appearance again in 2021 after some injuries and stuff. So if Severino comes back, of course you want to hope he's going to be really good. But after not pitching at a major league level in so long, we don't know if that's going to be possible. And there's a lot of guys, a lot of questions with that Yankees rotation, which was seemingly one of their biggest downfalls. They went ahead and signed Garrett Cole last offseason, and now they're at risk of losing a handful of their starters that follow Cole in that number 1 to 5 rotation slot. So it's going to be difficult. Whether it comes down to Tanaka or DJ, like if you have to pick between one, I would rather see the Yankees re-sign DJ LeMahieu and bring him back. But that's going to be tough. And it's going to be really sad to leave. Or it's going to be really sad to see Masahiro Tanaka leave if that is the case, just because he's been a fan favorite within the franchise ever since he's been with the team. Hate to be the Atlanta Braves. They just had us, but like they don't always get the job done. Yeah, Atlanta has gotten very close. And they've been in the mix the past few seasons. They blew the 3-1 lead, which definitely hurts. Or not, the series, rather. It's tough to be in that type of situation because they're a team who's consistently good on both ends of the ball. Their rotation this year looked very good. And majority of their starting pitchers on paper opted out of 2020 or just did not pitch for one reason or another. They had to go ahead and fill those roles, and they did. And they filled those spots very well. Their offense is good. They brought in Marcelo Zuna, who had a great year, along with Freddie Freeman, Ronald Acuna Jr., Ozzie Albies. I mean, the list goes on. It is tough. The Braves, they're going to have their success very soon, I think. They are a very solid team. Most definitely. Bauer will probably sign a 6-7 year deal, and it's $240 million, but we'll have some distractions in between. Okay. I can see that because he might have like an opt-out eligibility, or he may be able to request to be a part of a trade. Just because I think that is possible if he has an extension that is somewhat long-term, like a 6 or 7 year deal right there. That's very doable. And I think teams, especially contending teams, are easily willing to dish that out to Bauer. But, I don't know what his average annual value is going to be exactly. Let's see, on a $240 million contract, for 7 years. That's $34 million a season, a little bit more. And a 6-year deal at that monetary value is $40 million, of course, per year. I think that's a solid number. Just whether or not he'll go the full 6 years, I'm thinking maybe if it's not a 1-year deal that he signs, he'll go 3 to 5. 3 to 5 years, somewhere along those lines. Maybe sign anywhere between $37 to $40 million a season with an opt-out after year 4, if it is a full 5-year thing. I don't know. That's what I'm saying right now. Just kind of course, I'm not, an agent of any sort, and I don't know Bauer, so I don't know what he's looking for. But a 3 to 5 year contract I think would be nice. $37 to $40 million a year. He definitely is deserving of that. And he may want to opt out after 3 or 4 years if it's a 5-year contract. Like, I can see that, especially if he's looking for short term, but can find himself in a really good spot for a 5-year deal to sign for some good money. Thompson in the game now for the Rays, ahead in the count 1-2 to Chris Taylor, with AJ Pollock still at second and 1 out. I feel bad for all Atlanta sports fans. They blew a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl, a 3-1 series lead, and blew a 27 lead in the national championship. It's tough. This is just not the year for Atlanta as Thompson gets Taylor to go down. I do feel bad for Atlanta. But again, their teams are going to be due. They'll have their fair share of success at some point. And the Braves might be, I don't know much about football and everything, when it comes to standings, how good the teams are. But the Braves might be the first team to see a lot of success in Atlanta out of the main sports franchises over there. In steps Enrique Hernandez, who grounds it over to Mike Rousseau, who will throw it over to first base in time for the final out. A 5-3 ground out. No runs on 1 hit, 1 man left on base. It was AJ Pollock. He was stranded at second. We go to the bottom of the 4th. The Dodgers still have a 2-run lead. The Rays are trying to go ahead and chip away. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Get some water here. All right, so for the Tampa Bay Rays, as they look to finally get some magic going here in Game 4, in the bottom of the 4th, they will have Randy Arozarena, Mike Rousseau, and Manny Margot all up for their second time around this evening. Now, Randy had a single in the first and was caught stealing. Rousseau struck out swinging. Margot struck out swinging against Julio Urias. And Arozarena, I think he's starting to get back into the groove of things here. Had a really great wild card to championship series run and struggled a little bit in the World Series. Yesterday picked up his first Fall Classic home run of the year, of the career. Coming into tonight, Randy was hitting .354 in 65 at-bats with 8 homers and 11 RBIs. Of course, now 9 home runs, 12 RBIs. He recently surpassed Derek Jeter for most hits in a postseason by a rookie. I believe now that total sits at 23 or 24 hits for Arozarena, and Jeter's record was 22. And I think the key for Tampa, if they want to get back in this, is start to get hits now and runners on. Bloop and a blast, very common adage. We brought it up yesterday quite a bit, but that's really what they need. Just string together some hits. You don't need a big home run. A single, just work it. Play some small ball. That's what Kevin Cash is good at. He will go ahead. He's going to adjust his roster, or adjust his lineup and adjust his bullpen accordingly to make sure his team has the upper hand, whether it's bringing in a righty in the from the bullpen if 2 righties or 3 righties are up for the opposing team, or if it's doing the opposite and having, per se, the Dodgers on the mound with Julio Urias and then switching out some of their lefties in the lineup for right-handed bench bats so they can go ahead and really make the most out of every situation. Kevin Cash does that. He's very good at it. It leads him to a lot of success. The Rays have done well as a result of Cash's managing skills over the years. He's easily, and he should most definitely be the AL manager of the year. I mean, just what he's done with this Rays team. Very low payroll and salary for his starting lineups. I mean, one of the lowest payrolls and better performing teams as a whole. Here's a Rosarena, bottom of the 4th, getting it going. And first pitch from Randy, sent out to right field. Mookie Betts cannot rob that one. I mean, I kind of feel like I got that one going here. Randy Arozarena, a solo home run to lead off the 4th. I mean, I guess you could use some home runs as well. That also gets the job done. The Rays come across their first run of the game. It's a 2-1 ball game now. That's a huge at-bat. It's going to get the ball rolling, hopefully start the momentum for the Rays. I'm rooting for LA in the series, but I want to make it very fun. I predicted Dodgers in 7 games. I would like to see them fully utilize each and every game possible in the set. I want a competitive matchup. I don't necessarily want to see the Dodgers go ahead and win in 5. I wouldn't mind it. But I want to see the Rays come back and make this interesting. What city do you think has the worst sports teams, Detroit or Cleveland? Okay, so I'm not really familiar with much out of baseball. So, like football and everything, basketball, I don't follow really all too much. I'll watch very few football games a year. Of course, the big one being the Super Bowl, obviously, but solely based off of baseball, because that's really the only take I can give you guys, because again, I don't follow many other sports. Based off of Major League Baseball alone, I would say Detroit has the worst sports teams. Again, with other squads, I'm not sure, like football, basketball, I don't know how that works out. But with the Tigers and Indians, like if you're comparing those two, yeah, Cleveland all day is the better of the two there. Rosarena just hit his 9th home run in the postseason. That's most all time in one single October run. So Rosarena, a historic rookie year, and coming in these games where it means most. Brasso gets aboard with the single now. He sends this one out to center field. And it's back-to-back hits. Manny Margot steps in. The count's even 1 ball, 1 strike, a runner on first, and he's 4 for 11 in the World Series. You'd say Detroit or Arizona. Okay. Yeah. Diamondbacks this year, again, just going back to baseball because that's really what I know most. Diamondbacks this year kind of surprised me a little bit. And not necessarily in a good way. They found themselves at the bottom of the division quite a bit. Out in the NL West, they struggled. They could not piece things together. And once they kind of knew their season was nearing its end and they were running out of time, they got rid of Starling Marte. They shipped him over to Miami. I don't know. I want to see the Diamondbacks do well. Of course, their team has kind of been dismantled a little bit. They lost Jake Lamb, although he really has struggled quite a bit as Margot goes down looking on strikes. But I was personally upset when Paul Goldschmidt got traded to the Cardinals because I was really rooting for the Diamondbacks, especially at that time. You know, I have a few top teams, and I like the D-backs in the NL, so I was upset with that, but Arizona has definitely been a shock in 2020. Hopefully, they can string things together for a better 2021 season. Dodgers are slipping. Yeah, I mean, granted, it's to the bottom of the fourth. They do have a lead, but there's a lot of time left for either team to come back and really go ahead and notch this Game 4 win. I watch all main sports. Detroit is definitely the worst. Okay. All right, yeah, I am, once baseball ends, I have made it a goal of mine to go ahead and get into football more. And I'm going to watch games in depth, and I want to go into like the news and like learning about the teams and the organizations and some of the best players. I know like general, like obviously big name players. Patty Mahomes is obviously big. Tom Brady with the Bucks now, that I know. But just when it comes to football, the knowledge is just very limited for me. So that's something I do want to expand on. For Detroit, MLB Tigers, NFL Lions, NBA Pistons, they all finish under 500. Okay, yeah, I mean, Detroit's not necessarily the most ideal place to play, I think, for a lot of people. At least in baseball, of course, because that team's just not been good in quite some time. Baseball and football, okay. Arizona Cardinals are decent. So came to them. Yeah, I've heard of these teams that you guys are throwing out here, but just to very minimal extents with some of them. Like, obviously, I know the Cardinals, the football Cardinals out in Arizona. Passwell going to get by. Will Smith. Brasso will advance over to second. 1 out, and Brandon Lau in a 2-2 count. So yeah, big goal is this offseason to keep up with, obviously, baseball and all the news that's going to be swirling around free agency. A lot of content is going to drop on the channel. I'll have some exciting stuff to really throw out there at you guys. Once 2020 comes to an end in terms of baseball, a lot of cool ideas, a lot of fun videos and stuff planned, so that'll be something to look out for. But then also on the flip side of things, still on the topic of sports, I want to kind of get a deep dive into football. Where do you think McCann and Molina will sign? Okay, so I feel like James McCann could go to the Mets if they don't sign Realmuto. I do think that's a possibility because McCann is definitely not one of the worst catchers in baseball right now, and there are people who would say he's an upgrade for the Mets. So I think McCann could definitely go ahead and make a run at New York. There's a chance he signs there, especially if they are trying to really further this team and develop the squad with the direction of Steve Cohen. That might be a move to go with, as Brandon Lau will swing right through a pitch. Really nice breaking ball for out number 2. So Yadi Molina, let's see. I did not realize he was a free agent either, actually. So I believe it's an option for him to get out of his contract this year. His 3-year, $60 million contract expires after 2020 with the Cardinals. And I'm reading a quote that says, if Molina doesn't return to St. Louis, he's going to retire. I don't know the accuracy of that or if that still stands true, because the article is a bit outdated just in the sense where it's not within the past few weeks. So I think the Cardinals might bring him back for like one more run, like a year or 2 contract, if anything. If not, it might be getting to the point where Molina does go ahead and decide to hang up the jersey and retire, which would be sad. That'd be a big turning point. But I think when both him and Pujols are out of the game, that's just going to be... It's going to be tough to take in initially. Yeah, 38-year-old Yadier Molina. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with him where he goes, but I think I don't see him going anywhere other than the Cardinals anyway. But now knowing that it's either St. Louis or no one, that really would make the only sense, the only answer logically that would make sense. If you ever decide to watch basketball, please don't be a Knicks fan. Okay, I mean I haven't really followed much of New York sports. Like I kind of used to watch tri-state sports as I was growing up. Like I would watch the Devils and a little bit of, I think sometimes TV. I'd have maybe Devils games on and the occasional basketball game here and there. Only a small hint of things outside of baseball, as I've kind of been touching on, but I do know that the Nets are by far a much better team than the Knicks. So I will not be a Knicks fan if I decide to watch basketball. So here's a fun little fact with Randy Arozarena. He just surpassed Bonds, Beltran, Cruz, and Seeger. So Nelson, okay, obviously Barry Bonds, Carlos Beltran, Nelson Cruz, and Corey Seager. Those four players, he just surpassed all at once with his 9th postseason home run this year, which is the most by any single player, which is ridiculous. Big fact right there. Arozarena has been great. Really nice, storyline to touch up on and follow through. We talked about Cookie Carrasco and how he's overcome cancer and he's in the recovering stages and he's back in baseball. Randy Arozarena started off in Cuba. He deferred over to Mexico and then came to the U.S. and played with the Cardinals. He got minimal playing time over there. The Rays found interest in him and traded for him. I believe he was part of the Jose Martinez trade. He came over and he's been phenomenal, obviously, this postseason. And he has now passed Barry Bonds in 2002, Carlos Beltran in 2004, Nelson Cruz in 2011, and Corey Seager in this postseason for the most home runs by any given player in October. So what a fun fact. There we go. We go to the top of the 5th inning. I'm going to go ahead and adjust the scoreboard here on screen. So top of the 5th, Mookie Betts is starting it off for the Dodgers, who are now only working with a 1-run lead. The score is 2. And we'll see if Betts can get something going here. He's looking for his first hit of the night and is facing Peter Fairbanks, who has thrown 2 pitches and 2 strikes here in Game 4. The 0-2 to the phenomenon and superstar right fielder Mookie Betts. Swing and miss, strike 3. Got him to go down right there. That is 1 away. Now this is what the Rays are going to do. They're going to come back into this ball game, make it close, and have their bullpen try to lock it down. See, top of the 5th here. Mookie Betts just struck out. Now an interesting little factoid and just stats from this postseason regarding the Tampa Bay Rays. In the first 10 postseason games, the Rays bullpen combined had a 2.91 ERA with a 6.89 opponent on-base plus slugging, allowing 5 home runs. In these last 7 postseason games combined, the Rays bullpen has a 4.20 ERA, an 8.36 opponent OPS, allowing 6 home runs. Now, those numbers are slightly different as we've now seen our second bullpen arm come in for Tampa Bay. And Seeger will send one into right center field for a single. He gets his second hit of the night, and he's aboard with 1 out. How many Major League Stadiums have I been to? Okay. Last time I did this, I believe I was slightly off with my number. So I'm going to go ahead and just write down really quick all the stadiums I've been to, just to make sure I don't forget anything, because there's been a few. As a pitch gets by Mike Zunino behind the plate, wild pitch allows Seeger to advance into scoring position. But the first ever stadium I went to was Atlanta Braves back in, oh my goodness, I was young. I think it was 2011, give or take. So long time ago, but I was at the old Atlanta Braves Stadium. Then I went to Citizens Bank Park for the Phillies. I've been there a few times. Citi Field, Yankee Stadium. I was at the Oco Coliseum for the Athletics. I went to an Angels home game, the Diamondbacks, the Orioles. I saw them all at home. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8 stadiums right now, and I believe that is all. I am pretty sure that makes the list. So the old Atlanta Braves Stadium, Citizens Bank Park, Citi Field, Yankee Stadium, Oco Coliseum, Los Angeles Angels, Chase Field for the Diamondbacks, and Camden Yards. Now I have to say, and I think some of my favorite ballparks, Camden Yards gets at number 1 spot and Chase Field number 2. Really enjoyed going to both of those specifically. And of course I love Yankee Stadium. The Mets, Citi Field, a lot of fun things to do out there, like on the concourses and stuff. Trey Turner going to fly a 3-0 fastball to right field for out number 2, and Seeger will stay at second. 2 away, a runner at second base. The Dodgers really want to capitalize here, see if they can somehow add to this lead, whether it's a base knock or a 2-run home run. So yeah, make that, what did I just say? 8 Major League Baseball stadiums. The plan is to get to all 30. That is obviously a big bucket list item for me. And I'm looking forward to it. If I'm being quite honest, I have a few in mind for ones I want to travel to in the near future. We've been to Citi Field, Yankee Stadium, Marlins Park, Tropicana, Citizens Bank, and Fenway. Those all sound like a really nice mix of fields there. Now, for me, so 6. Okay, yeah. I've been really lucky to have all the experiences I've had and the opportunities. Also, I've been to multiple Yankees games at Yankee Stadium, multiple games at Citi Field. I believe, multiple games at Citi Field, multiple games at Citizens Bank Park. So I think I've attended somewhere around 13 or 14 games at 8 different stadiums. But yeah, in the near future, I would really, really love to go to Rogers Center out in Toronto. Fenway for sure. I want to head out to Pittsburgh. I'd love to go to Chicago for Wrigley. And then out to San Francisco for the Giants. Like, I'm all over the place. I want to go literally everywhere to all these stadiums. Yeah, I've heard some really amazing things about the history with Fenway. Obviously, the oldest active stadium right now in Major League Baseball, and Wrigley just looks like a great atmosphere for baseball. So Rogers Center has also been one for me that over the years, as I've really liked to continue to follow the Blue Jays, obviously that's something that I've wanted to pursue. So bucket list stadiums, top 5 in the near future. Maybe I can check at least one off in 2021. In no particular order: Rogers Center, Fenway, Pittsburgh, Wrigley, and staying on the East Coast, Marlins, I think. The Marlins have a nice stadium. And this one is sent out to right field. Corey Seager being waved home. He's going to make it in time. Max Muncy advances to second on the throw home, and he's going to be out as him and Adames collide. Very interesting play. Okay, hold on. Let me go ahead and recap that there really quick because that was a lot to unfold right there. But Muncy going to have an RBI single that he's credited with. He advanced to second on the throw home. Zunino throws down to throws down to Willy Adames, who's covering second base. And Muncy runs into Adames. So they fall to the ground. Turner's foot comes off the bag, and because Adames has the ball, he just tags him for the third out. So we'll see. Dave Roberts is out there now, chatting with the infield ump. Interesting third out. Muncy really makes a strong attempt to stay on the bag, but that will, I believe, allow the run to score. So I'm going to make it a 3-1 game on my scoreboard. If they allow fans in 2021, Globe Life Field, Wrigley, and Truist. Honestly, I completely forgot about Globe Life Field, but honestly, last year, I really wanted to get to Globe Life Park. That looked like such an awesome time. Just as an experience for a baseball game, that looked like so much fun. Really wanted to head down there and just never got the opportunity, which was fine because Globe Life Park is still up. It is right across the way from Globe Life Field, which is where the World Series is currently taking place and where the Rangers now play. But I would like to get out to Globe Life Field as well. And honestly, at that point, might as well hit up Minute Maid because you're in Texas. You gotta get to both of them. Check them both off at once. You live in Florida, so you've been to all the spring training sites. That's awesome. Yeah, I actually was talking today about spring training and how I would love to get down there. Maybe not 2021. Maybe. I don't really know. We'll have to see. Obviously, with everything that's going on in the world right now, spring training isn't the biggest concern, obviously. So that is something that I definitely want to go ahead and attend. At one point, I would like to say within the next 2 years, get down there and just visit all the sites. I've never made it down to spring training to any extent. So that would be a whole lot of fun. I've heard some great things about it, and I think, just being able to be down there and be up close with all the players, maybe meet some Yankees or just meet anyone and potentially, vlog it all and stuff. I think that'd be a whole lot of fun. So we'll see. I definitely have a lot of things that I am looking forward to. I want to make it down to spring training. Of course, I think that'd be awesome. Make it to all 30 MLB stadiums. Just so many things I want to check off as a baseball fan. And I think it'd be a lot of fun also just for that content-wise too on the channel. We're going to go ahead and head to the bottom of the fifth. Dodgers lead 3-1 here in Game 4. Now, if the Dodgers win this game, they take a commanding 2-game lead in the series. 3 wins to 1 loss. And at that point, you really hope the Dodgers don't blow the 3-1 lead. However, I think the Dodgers do win this in 5 or 6 games if they come out with a win tonight. I don't see them allowing the Rays to come back and push for a Game 7. I am from New Jersey, so I'm very close to New York, like not a long commute for me, and to get to a Yankee game or like a Mets game, it's not terribly long distance-wise. And, the travel time is not terrible whatsoever. Very doable. So, yeah, I am from New Jersey and born and raised. So, there we go. It's a 1-1 count from Julio Urias to Hunter Renfroe, who takes an off-speed pitch inside for ball 2. Obviously, not being able to attend the good majority of Major League Baseball games this year was different for all of us fans. And for me especially, I'd like to get out to at least one Yankee game a year. And then I try to go to like one new stadium a year. or just something that's not Yankees or Mets related. Like sometimes I'll do trips down to Philadelphia, see the Phillies play at Citizens Bank Park. And then in 2019, I attended a game between the Astros and Orioles at Camden Yards, which was just awesome. Camden Yards, definitely a stadium I highly recommend. Would love to get back to again at some point. Just really nice architecture and environment for a game. And Hunter Renfroe sends this ball to the second deck out in left field. It's a solo home run for the right-handed right fielder. That's the second home run that Urias has allowed tonight. One in the fourth inning from Randy Arozarena, and now to Hunter Renfroe. So we are back to a one-run game as the Rays put up their second, or they played their second run here via a solo shot yet again. Lived in Long Island for 17 years. That's what Mets were nice. Yeah, I think I grew up, like when I was younger, I started off as a Mets fan. And then I don't remember when, but I made the switch to a Yankees fan when I was still early single digits, I want to say. Probably like 5 or 6. And I didn't get crazy big into baseball until like really watching for stats and to view the league until probably I was 12 or 13. Up until that point, it was pretty much just me watching almost every Yankee game, living and breathing with every pitch that the Yankees would face or throw. And then as of a few years ago, I really just started to, kind of diversify myself with all teams and not just the Yankees. And then, of course, in 2018, I started the YouTube channel. And here we are now. Visiting stadiums gets easier as you get older. Money in a car. U19 hoping to get to more stadiums around the country and see more baseball. Yeah, honestly, that's something I'm looking forward to most definitely. I mean, just being able to travel and have those experiences and stuff, just the money and a car, both big aspects of that being possible. But yeah, like spring training is something, like I said, I want to try to get down and do at one point, and that would be a fun excursion, but it'd probably be a little pricey. It'd get to a point, and Mike Senior is going to go ahead and strike out as he foul tips one back into the glove of Will Smith. But yeah, games are definitely something I don't go ahead and spend a whole lot on. Like when I go to a Yankees game, I'm not necessarily getting seats in the first level. Like that's not important to me. For me, I just want to get to the stadium, be in the atmosphere with the fans and watching the game in person. I know some people, and there's nothing wrong with this whatsoever, like some people spend the big bucks on like really good seats. I think at one point in my life I'll go to a game or two where I do splurge a little bit, but as of right now, I'm still young. I'm saving money and stuff for college in the future, so I'm not necessarily going ahead and spending a couple $100 on tickets. But I think the least expensive World Series ticket was $445 that I looked at, and I'm sure that's probably like the nosebleed seats for sure. That's not terrible, but for one night, $400 a ticket, and then traveling there and probably staying overnight and then going with other people, it just gets pricey. And I would love to attend a World Series game, a Yankees playoff game. So much on the bucket list that I want to check off at one point or another. As Urias racks up his second strikeout of the inning with Kevin Kiermaier going down. And Dave Roberts heads out to the mound. It's either going to be a quick little talk to kind of make sure Julio's okay, or Blake Trinan will come in to relieve here through 4 2/3, but Julio only threw 80 pitches so far, recording 14 outs, allowing 2 runs, both solo shots, and 2 hits other than that. 5 base runners total, 2 singles, 2 home runs, and a walk. Urias' night is done. He's going to come out here, allowing 2 runs on 4 hits through 4 2/3 innings. So when we return from the Fox commercial break, it'll still be the bottom of the 5th, and the Rays will see if they can tie it up with 2 outs. All right, let's see. 5 minutes from Astros National Spring Training Center. I went there last year, which was a bit after the cheating scandal was brought up, and it was nuts. That's awesome. That is really cool. Just that to live that close, and then just be able to, be there in person with everything going on with the Astros. Everyone was out for blood. No one wanted to see the Astros whatsoever. Altuve, Springer, Correa, Bregman. No one wanted anything to do with them. Rightfully so. I mean, they really did a toll to Major League Baseball. And to the extent that they broke the rules is very hefty. A lot of people, including myself, especially in certain scenarios, were not happy with the punishment or lack thereof. And they did get off a little easy. But Altuve said it, we're going to prove him wrong. I think Correa said it, we'll make it far in 2020. It doesn't matter, we're still a good team. And it looks like they have the chemistry. They still are a good team. But just that scandal really messed them up a bit. And I know in the championship series, a lot of people were rooting for the Rays, whether they liked the team or not, just because they did not want to see the Astros make it back to a World Series atmosphere. We are returning back to the regularly scheduled program as Blake Trinan comes in now to relieve the left-handed Julio Urias, who went 4 2/3 innings, allowing 2 runs on 4 hits. Trinan is 1-1 this postseason in 9 2/3 innings, 4 earned runs, and a 7-0 strikeout to walk ratio. The first pitch he throws, Yandy Diaz will ground over to Justin Turner. Turner will throw it over to first in time and record the out. That'll do it. It's a 5-3 put out. 1 run on 1 hit, no men left on base for the Rays. It's a 3-2 ball game, and we go to the 6th. Go ahead and update the scoreboard here. And let's see what we have in the chat. I met some players such as Correa and some minor leaguers mainly. It was all awkward. Honestly, okay. I'm a big fan of trying to get down the foul line before games to meet players. And I just think that experience is really cool. Whether it's a picture or a short conversation or an autograph or all of the above or, multiple. I do really like meeting players. At the end of the day, Correa, with or without the scandal, is very good. So that's a really cool moment. I definitely see how it's awkward, though, but that's really neat. Correa just needs to shut his mouth and let the bat and glove do the talking. Yeah, I mean, he got very vocal. Very vocal, very defensive. He denied allegations that were later shown to be true in reports and in the investigations. So it made him look like a liar. And, it's just something, this is going to be remembered for a long time. And it's unfortunate that it's remembered in such a negative light, but it's unfortunate that it's remembered at all because it happened, and that sucks. But, it is what it is. Teams cheat all the time. They steal signs. To this extent, this is the first time I've ever seen it, at least documented and exposed. So, there's that. We're going to the top of the 6th inning, and so far the Dodgers have been able to maintain a lead in this game ever since the 1st inning, but they want to go ahead and build onto it now, especially after the Rays plated another run, made it a closer game. It's 2-3. 2 runs to 3 runs, Tampa Bay to Los Angeles, respectively. Now, the Rays do have last licks. They are the home team in games 3, 4, and 5. Of course, this is game 4 of the set. And this is at least going to be a 5-game series. I've been to Minute Maid Nice Stadium and they cheated. Or sad they cheated. I heard Minute Maid is really cool. Just, it sounds like it's like a fun stadium to be at. The layout looks interesting. My friends have also said it kind of looks like a shopping mall when you're in there. I've never been there. Of course, again, I want to get to every stadium. But Minute Maid, I'm sure this year Minute Maid would have been explosive. Like, fans, I would even go to say there'd be more fans of opposing teams than of the Astros at any given game at Minute Maid this year, because everyone would have wanted to take a shot at the Astros players and the staff and everything. Like, they want to boo them every second possible. I think that would have made for some fun headlines if Minute Maid was open and available for games hosting Houston and fans. But Diego Castillo comes in here in the 6th inning. He's thrown 2 pitches, and both have missed outside the zone for balls to Will Smith, who is 1 for 2 on the night. The Dodgers backstop went ahead and singled back in the 2nd inning. He was stranded at second for the 3rd out, and then he grounded out back to the pitcher in his next plate appearance. Two balls and 1 strike to Smith, make it a 2-2 count as he waves and misses here at a pitch on the outer third of the plate. This has been a whole lot of fun, guys. Thank you so much for everyone who's tuned in, for all of the support, everyone who's watching now, who's watched at one point. Even if you are viewing this as a playback, once this game is over and the stream is no longer live, I appreciate it. Also, a big thank you to Robbie Hyde, who I know sent a few of you guys over from his stream and from his channel. So if you guys are from Robbie's channel, thank you so much. If you are originally from here, or just coming in as, someone watching the game and tuning into the live for the first time viewing my content, I ask that you go ahead, check out Robbie Hyde on YouTube. I will go ahead and link him in the chat. And then also, once this stream comes to an end, I will put the link to his channel in the description. So let me go ahead and get that up here. I know Robbie just hit 3,000 subscribers, which is awesome. We just recently cleared the 1,000 sub mark. Thank you all so much for the continued support there as well. This has been an awesome ride So excited, just where this has taken me, YouTube as a whole. I mean, I started this back in 2018 and didn't really expect to have it be something that would eventually grow to this extent, at least this early on. Like, this is awesome. I could have never imagined hitting 1K, being able to do that live and have my live reaction to 4 digits in the sub count was amazing. So thank you all for your continued support. Thank you to those of you who are just joining the team today. If you are in the stream right now and you have not yet subscribed, go ahead and join the team down below. Click the subscribe button. For the rest of this postseason, with the remainder of the World Series games we have left, I'm going to try to go ahead and stream all remaining games, but that may or may not work out just depending on how scheduling goes. The best way for you guys to know when I upload a video or when I go live, because it's not on a set schedule, is to have your notifications turned on. So don't forget to subscribe, join the team, and turn on your notifications so you don't miss an upload or a live play-by-play. All right, so I'm going ahead and linking Robbie Hyde's channel here. All right, so there in the chat is the link for Robbie, his channel, and his live stream right now. He is doing the same thing at the moment. He's doing a World Series live where he's talking and interacting with his viewers and kind of talking about the game and his picks, his thoughts, everything about it. Whole lot of fun. I mean, I just love the baseball community, the YouTube community so much. This has just all been such an awesome experience for me, and I would not be here without each and every one of you guys. So again, I can't stress this enough. I say this every stream, but thank you to everyone who has been a part of the journey. I would say spring training is very underrated because the games don't count, but even just watching them train and stuff, it's close contact. Yeah, I mean, I've seen videos of people there, and I watch all the Jump Boy Media stuff. So their vlogs for the the 2020 spring training stuff, when they were down there and their experience and stuff, that was really cool. You're just up close with all the players. You can meet a bunch of them. It's really chill and laid back. Like at a major league game, if you want to go to Yankee Stadium per se and try to meet Aaron Judge, that's probably going to be difficult. But you can literally walk right by him on the way to a spring training field. At least so I've been told. You can just walk right by the players casually, take pictures, take autographs. They're all for it. And of course, it also is them building up, preparing for the upcoming season. So just a lot of fun. It's something I really am excited for and looking forward to in the near future. So that will be something, if I attend, will be well documented on the channel. We'll be doing vlogs and sporadic content. So look forward to that. Whenever I go to spring training, you guys will be right there along for the ride with me. I'm starting to slowly start a baseball YouTube channel. Feel free to check out my videos. 3 videos, one is baseball related. Will do. After I finish going live, I don't know if I will be live the entire game, but after I go ahead and wrap it up here, I'll go ahead and check that out, Hayden. For sure. We got a runner on first and a 3-0 count to A.J. Pollock, who takes ball 4, and Castillo struggling here. 15 pitches, has only gotten 1 out in the top of the 6th. But the Dodgers need to capitalize. Runner on first, runner on second, 1 man retired. big opportunity to kind of start to blow the doors open here and bust it down. They need to build off of this one-run lead. A 3-1 series lead doesn't guarantee anything. We know that very well from the Cubs and the Indians. So 3-1 leads don't necessarily mean much, but it just marks one final game, one final win that the Dodgers would need to go ahead and win this all finally for the first time since 1988. The Tampa Bay Rays have never won a World Series in franchise history. The only pennant they won was back in 2008. They made it all the way against the Philadelphia Phillies, and they ended up losing in Game 5 of the Fall Classic. They were the second best team then, and they want to be the first best team now, win this first ever World Series, be a part of team history. So the Tampa Bay Devil Rays were established and played their first season in 1998. The Devil Rays did not win a World Series. The Rays, therefore, have never won a World Series when the name was changed. And Los Angeles Dodgers haven't won a World Series since 10 years before the Rays started playing in Major League Baseball. It's been a long time. It's been a long time since the Dodgers have had success in a World Series. And even since the Rays have made it this far. Chris Taylor, first pitch he sees is foul back. Thanks, man. Love your account. Just subbed. You seem like a chill dude to discuss baseball with. Sadly, a lot of people our age aren't too fond of baseball. Thank you so much for the support. I appreciate it. Thank you for joining the team. Of course, I'm going to go ahead and check that out. I'm actually going to write down your channel name so I don't forget here. And yeah, I mean, baseball is not necessarily the most popular sport among our age group, like teenagers and stuff. Not necessarily something people are willing to watch. And I have friends who are like, yo, baseball is like super boring or whatever. And, you know, it's for some people and just not for others. For me, this game means a lot more than just being a sport. This is something that's always been a big part of my life, and a reason why I started YouTube was because of, you know, the meaning of this game, just as a whole to me, and also because down the line I do want to go ahead and pursue sports broadcasting and journalism, and this is almost practice for that. But this is also just kind of getting, just getting better with learning about the sport, writing articles, which I've kind of been doing off on the side, and, you know, expanding just the opportunities that I have. And the skill set that I would need is obviously being able to call a baseball game and have good language and communication skills, and I think that I've definitely improved for sure over the 2 years that we've had this channel, and I'm going to continue to do that and develop and adapt, and I'm excited. It's been a lot of fun, and this journey has been amazing, and I'm looking forward every step of the way that is to come. This is something I fully intend on doing for a very long time. All right. So 2 outs now as Chris Taylor lines out to left field. Kike Hernandez steps in. He's 0 for 2 with 2 ground outs in this game. 1 for 6 in the World Series with just 1 RBI. We'll see if he can maybe add to that total right here or hit his first home run of the Fall Classic this year. First pitch he sees, he swings right through. Way underneath the ball. Strike 1. I have like 2 friends that are diehard baseball fans. On my others, it's like boring. Yeah, I mean, I have a few people that I've met from YouTube just over time. Eli Fishman is someone who I've done some content with here on the channel. But he's a good friend of mine that we've, started talking because of baseball and everything. And this is just a great community. Like, baseball is so amazing. Such an amazing sport. It just brings people together, and it means a lot. It's exciting, and it's America's pastime. It is, and it's that for a reason. If you guys want to go ahead, check out Eli, who I just mentioned, Eli Fishman. His YouTube channel is Talking Ball with Eli Fishman. We've done some interviews with him and some collabs on the channel talking about the Yankees. We did some postseason predictions most recently, and that's been a lot of fun. Currently majoring in sports management. Great to see someone else with the interest. That's awesome. Good luck with you, all your future endeavors. That's so cool. That is something that in the near future, I'm preparing for like college within the next 2 years, as I'm currently a junior. Wait a second. We interrupted this statement for Kike Hernandez, an RBI single. There we go. Will Smith plates the fourth one of the game for the Dodgers. They're getting some insurance, and he actually ends up making it to second on it. He stretches it out, makes it from a single to a double. Second and third, it's now 4-2. Big opportunity still with 2 outs. Hernandez just sent that right past the diving glove of Mike Rosso at third base. Great play, or great attempt at a play, and amazing hit from Kike. He flips the bat and he's screaming as he's running down the line. That's awesome. It is a 4-2 game. Let's see if the Dodgers continue to capitalize here with 2 outs, but they have definitely added another run of insurance. It's been very back and forth. The Dodgers score a run, the Rays score. The Dodgers score some more, the Rays come back and chip away. Now the Dodgers yet again are jumping back on the train to score more runs. As I was saying, yeah, I'm getting ready for college. It's coming at me a lot quicker than I'm expecting. So I'm getting ready, but I am definitely going to go ahead and I'm getting ready for a major in sports communications. Also going to do some journalism stuff, probably while I am attending, and it's going to be fun. I'm in for the ride. I'm excited, looking forward to it, but this is just the beginning. So again, good luck to you, Hayden, with all your future endeavors and stuff, and hope all is well in college and just in general, and everyone in the stream, hope you are all having a great night. Game 4 of the World Series has been a fun one. It's a 4-2 game in the 6th inning. Runners on second and third with 2 outs. The Dodgers are threatening to do some more damage, and Mookie Betts is up at the plate in a 1-1 count as he's 0 for 3 tonight. So he's really due. A knock here, even a single, would potentially put the Dodgers up by 4 runs. And instead, Betts is going to slam the bat into the ground as he flies this one to center field. Kevin Kiermaier camps under it and will make the catch for out number 3, but not before the Dodgers get another run on the board, make it 4-2. We go to the bottom of the 6th. But yeah, Game 4 has been a lot of fun. It's been back and forth, and I've had a really great time in the live stream, so thank you to each and every one of y'all who stepped in and listened or watched or did both when it comes to this stream and the play-by-play. I appreciate all the continued support. You guys are awesome. Would not be here without you guys. Could not be here without you guys. Any advice on how to start a YouTube channel? What editing tools to use? How often? To be consistent? Is it simple enough to do on a laptop or iPad, etc.? Want to get content over the off season? So, okay. I'm going to take this question by question here. How to start? So, obviously, something that I say, because over the course of these live streams, and I've had a channel now for a little over 2.5 years, just about 2.5 years. The number one advice that I give, which I think is almost the most important, is just put out content that you are happy with. If it's not something you would watch, chances are other people may not watch it. So you want to make sure that you're happy with your final product at the end of the day. And there are multiple steps to go ahead and take to make sure that the videos that you're publishing and uploading, and if you're doing streams, if the streams you're doing, to make sure that those are things that viewers will tune into. So to kind of get to that point, editing tools, I started off just using iMovie on an iPad and iPhone just because that was easy. I started a channel back in 2018. I still didn't really know much about video editing or like production of content, so I used iMovie for videos, and I'd throw photos on at points and stuff too. Like you see on screen now with the Rays and the Dodgers logos and stuff, I would do that all via iMovie. It's definitely doable in an iMovie application like that. So if you have an iPad to use, that's something that you can do. It's easy to get going. Then there's been a couple of editing softwares I've used over the course of the past few weeks for videos. I'm currently trying to decide which I like the best. I'm back and forth from Shotcut and DaVinci Resolve. Again, both are free softwares to download, and they're not crazy to get used to. Once you get the rhythm of it and you kind of understand how things work and how you operate it, it is actually a very fun application to use, and the content that you see, the results you put out are going to be really good. How often to be consistent? So consistency is something that I've definitely struggled with a little bit, and I'm a little upset about personally this year, just with COVID. From March to February, from March to the start of the season in July, was not really consistent. Went on some streaks where I didn't really upload much. Even now, I've been really just doing live streams as opposed to regular uploads. But this winter, I fully expect to go ahead, and I intend on putting up consistent content. I would say, a video or two a week, just depending on how you schedule it. Some people get videos out every day or like 4 or 5 times a week. It's really whatever you're comfortable with. Because again, you want to make sure the content you're putting out is something that you would watch and therefore something that other people would enjoy watching. So if you're putting out content every day just to get it out there, consistency might be one thing, but the results might not be as high as you would like them. If that makes sense. Like, I could spend 20 minutes on a video every day and upload each and every video, but it might not be something that people enjoy. People might not want to watch it. So as opposed to that, I could spend an hour and a half, 2 hours editing after filming for a little while and putting it out there to YouTube, publishing it, and hoping that people enjoy it. And there's going to be the content that just, a certain video might not do as well as you think it does, or you think it should. And at that case, you just have to accept it. It's like you don't get down on yourself, because I've done that at points too. It's like, man, I really thought this one was going to do a lot better, and it just doesn't. But there's going to be those points. So don't get down on yourself. Put out content that you want to watch, that you think other people would enjoy. Those are my 2 biggest tips and bits of advice for you. And then editing tools, again, Shotcut I'm using and DaVinci Resolve, free softwares. iMovie is very easy. Of course, you can, and at that point, record with your iPad, edit with your iPad if that's what you're doing. Shotcut and DaVinci Resolve are both for the PC. And then consistency, it's whatever you feel most comfortable with that you can put out great content. So that goes for everyone and for any sort of channel, not just baseball related. But definitely take the step, because YouTube is something that, I look back at. This is one of my biggest accomplishments, and it's still something that's growing each and every day, and something that I want to carry with me for a very long time. I want to keep putting content out there. This is not like a temporary thing for me. And, I want to have big goals and really get far as a platform and expand as a community and stuff. And we've done a great job of it so far, and I'm looking forward to the steps ahead. Editing. Okay, so editing is a bit difficult, at least when you kind of start, especially if you're using an application like I use the Shotcut software. I use that for my most recent upload. I was using Shot to go ahead and add images and kind of cut and trim videos and everything, and make sure I was satisfied with the videos that I was putting up. But it does take time to have a product, for me at least, that I'm happy with. I am very particular. I like to make sure that I'm putting out the best that can be put out on my part. So there have been some videos where I haven't done a whole lot of editing, if any at all. But then there's others I go full blown into the editing, and it's like I'm putting out a bunch of pictures. I'm really trimming down stuff. I'm making edits for reasons. It's really up to you how intense you want to make it. It's like for baseball, for me, I do like pictures of players when I'm talking about them, and then the team logos, stuff like that. That's not necessary per se. Like, that's not something you need to have success, but I do think at points it helps to have audio and visuals that go along with each other and that go side by side. So on a software like Shotcut, editing takes me quite some time because I want to make it look professional. I want to make it look good. Back when I would use iMovie, it did not take as long, but it didn't look as good in my opinion. And you are limited to what you can accomplish on an iMovie device, or software rather. So it takes time. It definitely takes for me about 2 or 3 times the time as it takes for me to record something. So I'll be messing with the footage and everything a lot more than actually recording said footage. So iMovie for the iPad, and then if you're using your PC or your computer, I recommend Shotcut, just because DaVinci Resolve is a bit glitchy at times and it has some bugs. It just kind of doesn't work and it gives you some trouble. But Shotcut, free to download. I've been using that recently and I really enjoy that one, and it's pretty easy to grapple and get a hold of. So there is a runner on first here in the bottom of the 6th inning with no outs. Blake Treinen is in, facing off against Ji-Man Choi, who's come in to pinch hit for Mike Brousseau. So there's been a bit of a change in the lineup and defense now, and Kevin Cash at it. You know, instead of Brousseau facing the right-handed Treinen, he's bringing in a lefty and Ji-Man Choi to play the matchups. The count's full to Choi with a runner on first, Randy Rosarena, who picked up his 3rd hit of the game, by the way. I said he was ready to break out, especially after that home run yesterday, and here he is. Hey, welcome to the stream. Robbie Hyde sent you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you joining in. I was actually chatting with Robbie a little bit today in the comments of one of my videos. He checked out my postseason predictions, and I've been subscribed to him for a little bit. I really enjoy all his content. Glad he sent you over here. Thank you so much for clicking over. I do have a link in the live chat that I will repost to Robbie Hyde's channel for anyone who has not been familiarized with his content or what he does. He is very knowledgeable about the sport. He's got some great takes. He does live streams just like this for random, sporadic games, whether it's postseason matchups, like the Championship Series or the World Series, much like the one you are watching right now. But thank you so much for coming over from Robbie's channel. I appreciate it. I just reposted the link to Robbie's YouTube. Go check him out if you are not familiar with his content, with his channel. And, let's send some love over to his channel as he's sending some guys over here. So thank you all so much. I appreciate each and every one of you from Robbie's channel, or from those of you who just clicked on the video, or those who have been subscribed and who are watching this. I appreciate it. Thank you all for the continued support. This last month has been really fun. We've hit 1,000 subscribers. A lot of content has gone out. And it's been a pleasure to have this opportunity and to be able to put out content for you guys. You guys are all awesome. And just the community that's been made and established over the years for me on this channel is awesome. Thank you so much. So guys, go check out Robbie. Tell him that you came over from the stream. As a thank you for what he's doing over there as well. But big congratulations to Robbie. He hit 3,000 subs, I believe, just the other night. He's doing really well. His channel's picking up really quick, so very excited for him. And it's a lot of fun. A lot of great content creators when it comes to baseball. Very happy. It's just a great community to be in, whether you're a viewer or a creator. It's just a lot of great people in this here. O2 count to Austin Meadows, and he will foul tip this one into the glove of Will Smith for the first out of the inning. Now, Meadows came in also as a pinch hitter to replace Manny Margot. Again, Kevin Cash getting the righty-lefty matchups in. And there is going to be a mound visit to check up on Blake. Just make sure he's okay. Smith comes out, just wants to kind of calm him down a little bit. Runners on first and second. 4-2 game, and Trinan is coming out of this ball game. Most likely starting about a week or so. Free agent predictions. That's awesome, Hayden. Good luck with you on your YouTube channel. You're just starting that out. So essentially what the channel's going to look like for me, guys, content-wise, following the end of the season, we're going to be doing free agent predictions. We're going to be ranking teams and players. I have some other ideas stored away that I'm really excited about for different content, and it's going to be fun. Definitely looking forward to it. I think there's a lot of stuff to look forward to on the channel, regular upload wise. And there may be times where I just go in and I just start a live stream. If like a big free agent signs, kind of want to discuss it with you guys. So be ready for that. Best way for you guys to know when I upload, when I'm live, is just go ahead, have your notifications turned on, because I do not have a set schedule for uploads. So again, have your notifications turned on. If you are in the stream and you have not currently joined the team, go ahead, click subscribe down below. And say hello in the chat. Let me know you're here. If you have any predictions for who you think is going to win this game or the series, we're far from over in both cases. Bottom of the sixth here in Game 4, but also a 2-1 series lead on behalf of the Dodgers at the moment. Of course, they're trying to extend it. The Rays want to even it up with Game 4 here. But both teams are capable of really outperforming any opponent. They deserve to be here. The best team in the American League against the best team in the National League. It's been a fun season to see how everything plays out, especially with all the unprecedented times. Glad we got baseball, even if it was a little bit different around the edges. World Series baseball is World Series baseball, and it's awesome. So predictions, if you have any, let me know. New prediction is Dodgers in 5. I do think that's very realistic. I had initially said Dodgers in 7 at the very beginning of the postseason, I think before the wild card series started. I am sticking with that, though I do think it will not go all 7 games. I would love to see the full extent, all 7 games in a best of 7 being played, but at the moment, I do think the Dodgers have the upper hand, and I believe they're going to come out on top and win this game and win the series, because a 3-1 lead gets them just 1 win away. Whether it's 5 or 6 games, I do think LA will come out on top. I hope they get their first World Series win since 1988. They're due. They really are. And they deserve to go ahead and to win this one here. But not saying that the Rays don't deserve it, because they also have never won a World Series. And it's their first appearance in a Fall Classic since 2008. So both teams very deserving in a multitude of ways. I've been personally rooting for the Dodgers all throughout, and that's who I want to go ahead and see win the championship trophy. So Pedro Baez comes in for the Dodgers. 105 opponent batting average against lefties, 190 against righties in this season, including the postseason. He is facing Brandon Lau, who's 0 for 2. Runners on first and second, 1 out. The Rays are threatening with 2 men on and down 2 runs here in the home half of the 6th. Big swing and a miss from Brandon Lau. Gets the count even at 1 ball and 1 strike. There is a slight shift. Corey Seeger, the shortstop, is shadowing more towards behind the second base bag. And Justin Turner, the lone infielder on the left side of the diamond, Lau fouls this one as he dribbles it back and out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Let's go ahead and bring up Pedro Baez's full numbers this season. So in the postseason, here in 2020, a 1.69 ERA in 6 games. He struck out 7 batters in 5 1/3 innings and has racked up a .75 whip as Lau takes a fastball just outside. Count goes even 2-2. Postseason career, Baez is 1-0 with a 3.67 ERA in 29 games, 27 innings pitched, 30 strikeouts, and a whip of 1.26. And finally, Baez in 2020 had a 3.18 ERA through 18 games, racking up 2 saves in 17 innings of work, striking out 13 batters, and having a whip of 1 flat, 1.00. Lau flies this one into left center field. Back at the wall is Chris Taylor, and it is gone. Brandon Lau, a huge 3-run home run, his 4th homer of the postseason, his 3rd of the World Series. And that stuns Dave Roberts and the Dodgers. A bases clearing 3-run home run for the Rays gives them the lead for the first time this ball game. So there you have it. The Rays jump ahead. It is 5-4 in the bottom of the 6th. Brandon Lau had a huge game 2 with 2 home runs and 3 RBIs. And that ended a big slump offensively with him swinging the stick. Now he comes in game 4. A go-ahead 3-run home run in the home half of the 6th with 1 out. First pitch to Adames is bounced in the dirt for ball 1. And the tide has changed a little bit. The Dodgers, next time they go up to bat, will be behind and need to come back and at least try to tie it up over the next 3 innings. Adames now sends this one over to third baseman Justin Turner. He will field it cleanly and make the throw over in time. There are 2 away. Lau homer, yep, in all caps with a bunch of exclamation points. There we go. The Rays are on top for the first time here in game 4. That's a big swing of the bat right there. That's a game changer because now we know that the Rays bullpen can be very efficient, especially with the lead. This is going to be a fun final third of this ball game. And then Gaming Sean says his new prediction is Dodgers in 6. I want to see this as a close set. I really, really do. That played a big role in why I said Dodgers in 7 originally. Because I think the World Series is obviously the most important series in any given season, but having it go a full 7 games down to the wire, it's just so much fun. And as a baseball fan, no matter what team is in, watching Game 7 of the World Series, it's all on the line. Just so much fun. The Dodgers can come out here and win in 5 games. The Rays hopefully make it competitive, and it looks like they're doing a good job of it right now. I'd at least like to go to a Game 6. Get as much postseason baseball as we can before the dreaded winter drought from December to February without baseball. Baez versus Renfroe, 1-2 count, and Hunter goes down, swing and a miss, strike 3. That ends the inning, but not before a huge Brandon Lau, opposite fields, home run. It plates 3 batters to give the Rays a 5-4 lead. That's the first time they've acquired the lead in this game. Let's see if they can keep it that way and win Game 4. Alright guys, so I'm going to take a quick break as we head to the top of the 7th. I will be back in just a few short moments. So when we return, it'll be the top of the 7th. The Dodgers will go ahead and see if they can come back from this 1-run deficit. We'll be right back, guys. Alright, so we are back. Top of the 7th inning. The Rays lead it 5-4 as of where we currently stand. And to pick things back up in the stream, we have a question here in the chat. What cities should MLB use for expansion teams? I personally think that there are 2 cities in mind that I would love to see have a Major League Baseball team. One is I want another team in Canada. I think Montreal would be great. Almost like a revival of the Montreal Expos, who would later become the Washington Nationals. But I would really love to see another Canada team, and I think that'd be a fun little rivalry that's immediately implemented between the Blue Jays and whatever this new team would be. So I'm definitely saying Montreal, Canada, I think should get an expansion. And there was also, that kind of brought up something that was a thought, or at least a potential idea, where the Rays would play half of a season in Tampa and half of a season in Montreal. I hope that's not the case. Just add another team into MLB, send one to Montreal, but then there's 31 teams. You need a 32nd to make it even. Put a 16th team in the other league, and I want to see a team in Nashville. I think that would be really fun. Of course, if we do go to 32 teams instead of 30, you would have to readjust the standings, right? And that's not a problem, but I do think that would be fun. You want to mostly keep some of the big rivals together, but also implement some new rivalries. I don't know if MLB is going to expand anytime soon. Personally, 30 teams I think is a nice number, but if they were to expand, I would definitely say Montreal and Nashville or Las Vegas. Nashville or Las Vegas, actually, that's another good one. So one of those 3, or all of those 3 cities, I would love to see a baseball team in. Corey Seeger gets aboard now with a single to start the top of the 7th. Aaron Loop is in to pitch for the Tampa Bay Rays. He's a lefty out of the bullpen. And in steps Justin Turner, who takes a ball, and it's a generous call from the home plate umpires that was shown to be a strike, according to Fox in the home plate strike zone. Las Vegas, Portland, Charlotte, Montreal, Nashville, and Mexico City. Yeah, I think those are all really great cities because you want a place that's fairly well populated and where baseball would really help find new fans as well. You know, you want to establish a new stadium. new organization. You want to bring new fans into the game. And I think, going to like a Nashville or a Las Vegas, something like that, there would be a lot of potential with an expansion there. And even in Montreal, a second Canadian team, there's just so many opportunities, a lot of room to be creative with something like that. So JT, the Dodgers' third baseman, is ahead in the count 2-1 with Corey Seeger on first. Dodgers have 9 offensive outs to come back from a 1-run deficit. It's definitely possible. One swing of the bat right here from Turner could give them back the lead. Wave and a miss for strike 2. The count is even now. And this one will be spoiled back. The count remains at 2-2. We'll try it again. Aaron Loop not having an easy at-bat here against Justin Turner, making him work a little bit. Turner, let me remind you, is 2 for 3. He has a home run back in the first inning, and then a single to follow it up in his next at-bat. 2-2 count, and he will rope this one into left center field over the head of the jumping Willy Adames. Corey Seager will get to at least third base, and he will be held up there. Justin Turner stretches it to a double. So second and third, Justin Turner having a huge series in games 3 and 4 right now. 2 runners in scoring position, nobody out for the Dodgers. And that brings up Max Muncy. That pitch was up in the zone, and Justin Turner, the eye level changed a little bit, but he got his barrel up to the ball. Hit it well. It is most definitely getting to be very close right now in this game. And it's not over till it's over, but right now the Dodgers have some momentum. Let's keep the ball rolling. I'm rooting for LA. Max Muncy sees strike 1. That's a borderline call, but the home plate umpire gives it in favor of Aaron Loop. Right on the black. Perfectly placed, though, from the Tampa Bay lefty reliever. 0-1. Muncy, big uppercut swing on a fastball. Up and in, make it 0-2 now in the count. Dodgers have to capitalize right here. Have to. 2 leadoff base runners. They are now in scoring position and nobody out. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Max Muncy goes down on 3 pitches. And now Will Smith, we'll see if he can get the job done, as the Rays are going to another bullpen arm. So Loop came in. He faced the batters that he was supposed to, according to Kevin Cash and the pitching coach. So now his night is over. Now both Seeger and Turner, I believe Seeger was Aaron Loop's batter, but both of them are going to be counting towards Aaron Loop's ERA if they come across a score. Loop is responsible for those 2 batters who are in scoring position, so we'll see how things go. Also, I do believe at the end of the 7th inning, once the Rays hit one more time, I am going to call it a night here in this one. We've been live for almost 3 hours, which is awesome. But once the final out is made in the bottom of the 7th, I will call it a night here. Watch the final 2 innings just as a casual fan, kind of, unwind and relax. And get ready for Game 5 tomorrow, which I will try to be live for. Clayton Kershaw going to get back out on the mound for the 2nd time this series. Last time he came out, he was very dominant, very good. I want to go ahead and check the Rays right now because in Game 1, the matchup was Kershaw-Glasnow, but we'll see. That might be a little bit different now that the Dodgers seem to hit Tyler pretty well. But nope, nonetheless, it is going to be Clayton versus Tyler tomorrow. The Rays get home field advantage or last licks for the third and final time in the series. And depending on how this one ends, Game 5 tomorrow night may be the last game of the 2020 season. If the Dodgers win today and they win tomorrow, this series will be over. Nonetheless, just once again to reiterate, once the bottom of the 7th is over, the last out is made in the inning, I am going to go ahead and end the stream, but we still have quite some time to go. The Dodgers are threatening to add on to their 4-run ball game and get the lead back. Now, I read something that Brandon Lau home run in the bottom of the 6th was the first lead change in the World Series. So that's the first time a team with the lead has given up the lead. Brandon Lau, a huge bases clearing 3-run home run in the bottom of the 6th. It was his 3rd home run of the postseason, 3rd home run of the series. 4th home run of the postseason, 3rd home run of the series. But just a very critical swing of the bat. Yeah, Hayden, that's awesome video idea. Expansion teams, definitely something that would be fun to talk about on a video for your new channel. So here we go. Top of the 7th. Nick Anderson comes in. He's pitched in 8 games this postseason, an 0-1 record, 1 save, 13 innings, 7 earned runs, and an 8-3 strikeout to walk ratio. Runners at 2nd and 3rd. The infield is playing in. Will Smith swings and misses at a fastball, 95 miles per hour, belt high. That's the first pitch he sees from Anderson. And in 16 and a third innings, Anderson gave up 2 runs in the regular season. He's pitched in 13 innings of postseason play, giving up 7. So he definitely has not done as well in this type of environment and form of play. Now, Will Smith is going to chase a fastball out of the zone. He does foul it back for strike 2, though. Whatever happens here, the Dodgers cannot blow this opportunity. Runners on 2nd and 3rd, no outs. There's currently 1 out with 2 strikes on Will Smith. If the Dodgers had the lead, it'd be a little bit different, but because they now trail by 1, the time that they have to come back is limited, and Smith will strike out on 3 pitches. Nick Anderson, a huge strikeout with his first batter faced of Game 4. Now it's going to be up to Cody Bellinger, the DH tonight. Left-handed designated hitter is going to get a night out of the outfield, or night off of off-field duties. Oh my goodness. You can tell it's getting late because I'm starting to not be able to talk. Cody Bellinger gets the night off from outfield duties, but he gets intentionally walked. So now it's bases loaded, and Jock Peterson is stepping in, replacing A.J. Pollock. We see Dave Roberts playing the matchups now. Instead of the righty Pollock against the righty Anderson, it is now the left-handed Jock Peterson against the right-handed Nick Anderson. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Dodgers trail by 1. Yep, strikeout against Will Smith. This is definitely an intense moment right here. Big at bat. Jock Peterson can take this game by storm very quickly. Career with bases loaded, he has 2 grand slams and a 186 average. But everything's different. He only needs 1 good swing. Honestly, don't even look for the home run right now. Just look for contact. Plop something out to the outfield. Get a little single right back up the middle or something along those lines. He's hitting .333 in the postseason. Like, first pitch right now, he just chased the pitch out of the zone for strike 1. You're looking for contact. Get the ball to the outfield. Score 1 run. That's all you need. A single scores at least 1. That's what you're looking for. Plate the tying run on the swing. don't necessarily look to hit a grand slam and be up by 3 as a result of this at-bat. That'd be awesome if that's the case, but make it a lot simpler in your head. And this one will kind of roll off to the side of Mike Zunino behind the plate. He blocks it, keeps it in front of him, gets away from him still. The base runners will not advance as each base is occupied. The Ducks are on the pond and nowhere to put Jock Peterson. Bases loaded here in Game 4. The Dodgers have a 2-1 series lead. They currently trail 5-4 in this ball game. And we'll see what happens here. The 1-1 from Anderson. Fastball up and in. Good take, ball 2. This is a crucial at-bat from the left-handed outfielder. There is a shift. Yandy Diaz, who moved over to third base once Ji-Man Choi came in to replace Mike Rousseau, is the only infielder on the left side of the diamond. Make it a 3-1 count now as a fastball misses outside. Again, Ducks on the pond. The bases are loaded. There is nowhere to put Jock Peterson. If you're Nick Anderson, you cannot lose this at bat right here. And if you're Jock Peterson, you maybe take this pitch. See what he does. See if he attacks the zone or not, or if he makes you swing. Big at bat. A walk ties this game. Nick Anderson will deliver. Right down the middle, Jock Peterson is going to rope it into the shift. Nate Loud cannot make the play as it deflects off his glove. And now Cody Bellinger gets into a rundown. But the Dodgers score 2. Oh my goodness. Intense moment. Wow. Wow. Okay. Jock Peterson roped that 3-1 pitch. I don't know if that was Brandon Lau or Ji-Man Choi. It was Brandon Lau. Made a phenomenal attempt at a diving play. It gets off the top of his glove and deflects into the outfield. 2 runners score. Cody Bellinger gets into a rundown, is tagged out, but the runs count. Jock Peterson, an incredible 2-out RBI double. 2-out, 2 RBI double to give the Dodgers the lead once again. The second lead change of the game, the second lead change of the series, and it all comes here in Game 4. Insane. We go to the bottom of the 7th. And the Rays, for a third or fourth time, find themselves at a deficit. I hate how players carry a card on them showing the other player info. It's silly. Remember, remember it or too bad. I get that. I think just now, this could, don't quote me on this, but just something that I am referencing here, of course, is the cheating scandal with the Astros. And I think this is somewhat of a precaution or maybe a result of the big scandal, is that what is on that card. By the way, for those who are unaware, the pitcher will either have a set of numbers like sequences written in his hat, or will have a card on him in his back pocket that contains sequences that the pitcher and catcher make up so that they know what pitch to throw and they're on the same page. Instead of throwing one sign down, because if there's a runner on second, that sign can easily be stolen. So with a sequence, like the number 2 sequence might be like, okay, outs minus runners on base. All right, so if there's 2 outs and a runner on base, and you're using sequence number 2, 2 minus 1, you know the first thing that the catcher throws down is what you want to pitch. And that's essentially what you have there. Now, on the flip side of things, the fielders also have cards in their pocket usually, and that tells them how to shift, whether in the outfield or in the infield. A guy like Jock Peterson, his tendency is to pull the ball down the right field line. So there are set up more infielders are set up on the right side of the diamond. We saw Nate Lau back on the grass, well behind where he would be playing on second base because of the shift, because Peterson tends to hit it there. What did he do? Well, Jock hit it right to that spot. Just Lau could not make the play in that case. But each and every player typically will have a card on them. And for the catchers, also on their arm, they have like a little flip thing that they can open up. And it shows the sequences, and it's not a specific card. So Jock Peterson now patrolling the outfield as he comes in with that big 2-out, 2 RBI knock to replace A.J. Pollock. Card also helps with the shift. Yep. And that's kind of what I was just touching on. Like if you're going to shift, like the Rays have 4 outfielders sometimes. Like the cards will say, okay, well, this batter's up. They hit it to the outfield a lot, or they like to find the gaps. So we're going to use 4 outfielders. So you go here when, just for example, like Cody Bellinger's up, right? 0-1 count to Zunino. Does he check his swing? He does in time. The count goes 1-1. It's Baez versus Zunino. In the bottom of the 7th, the Dodgers have a 6-5 lead. Bottom of the 7th inning, Dodgers 6, Rays 5, Game 4. Third game I'm streaming of the World Series. This has been a lot of fun so far. And Zunino's going to spoil one back and out of play. The count goes 1-2. But Brandon Lau almost made the best play of the World Series so far right there. That would have been ridiculous if he came up with that ball and made the catch. Now he's in the dugout like distraught, and I can tell why, but he gave that his all. Like, yes, it got past him and it allowed the other team in the World Series to take the lead, but you can't ask for much more from him. That was a great attempt at a really tough play. And Zunino will go down on strikes, so that is 1 away now here in the bottom of the 7th. Again, at the conclusion of the 7th inning, I am going to call it a night here on YouTube Live, but expect to see me back tomorrow. I plan on going live, doing a full play-by-play like this again tomorrow night for Game 5, which is guaranteed. It may or may not be the last game of the series, depending on whether the Dodgers win or lose this game. But I should be live tomorrow if all goes according to plan. I've mentioned this a few times already in stream, but the best way for you guys to know as soon as I go live, whenever I go live, or whenever I upload anything, is to go ahead and turn on your notifications. Click the bell down below. Also, if you're new to the team, haven't yet, go ahead and click that subscribe button, as we are just a bit over 1,000 subscribers. And thank you to Robbie Hyde, another content creator who is also doing a live play-by-play right now of this very game. We're able to gain a few more subs here tonight. If you guys want to check out Robbie, which I highly suggest you do because he knows what he's talking about, he's got great takes. I love his content. I've personally been subscribed to him for quite some time. And when I'm not streaming, I'm watching his streams more often than not. So go ahead, check out Robbie. You can use the link that I just posted in the live chat. And Kevin Kiermaier with his 3rd home run of the postseason. That's a solo shot off Pedro Baez, and this game is tied. The Rays have relied on the long ball tonight, but it's gotten them very far. 6-6 ball game in the bottom of the 7th. Glad I found this channel. Hopefully we'll start my channel very soon. Thank you so much for that, Hayden, and good luck with your channel and your startup, your success. And you're majoring in marketing for sports. thank you to everyone who has joined in at one point or another here in this live. We are getting ready to wind down here and call it a night. Still 2 outs to go. This game is now tied, so it's going to be fun. But yeah, still 2 outs to go. 6-6 in the bottom of the 7th. Dodgers lead the series 2-1. Again, check out Robbie using the link in the chat. Let him know that you are from this stream here. See if we can get some new subs for him over there as well, as he just hit 3,000 subs the other night. Send him some support as a thank you for him sending some guys over here. So go ahead, check him out. Click the link. Also, once this live stream is published and over, the link will be in the description box if you want to check it out there as well. "6-6 game and a 3-0 count to Yandy Diaz, who is 0 for 3 tonight with 2 strikeouts and a ground out. This has been back and forth, a lot of fun, and a lot of drama going on here in Game 4 of the World Series. Still anyone's game. Two full innings left to play, and 2 really great teams battling it out. This game is ridiculous. Lots of ups and downs. The count is 3-1 from Pedro Baez, and he will miss south of the strike zone for a 1-out walk to the leadoff batter. That brings up the red hot Randy Arozarena, who is 3 for 3 tonight. He's got a home run on the day, and if he can continue his hit streak here and his hot streak in Game 4 with another big hit. So Joey Wendell comes in as a pinch runner to replace Yandy Diaz. Lots of replacements and substitutions here in this one, but this game is so incredibly important. That's from both teams, not just the Rays or the Dodgers. Both teams are doing what they can to go ahead and win this ball game. Obviously, as they want to win the World Series, they want to finally come out on top. In the Rays, they want to win their first fall classic. For the Dodgers, they want to win for the first time in the 2000s. Their last World Series championship was 1988. There have now been 7 consecutive half innings in which at least 1 run has been scored. That is now the new World Series record in Major League Baseball. So 7 consecutive half innings, which means the Rays and the Dodgers have gone back and forth and scored runs now for the past 3.5 times through. Just to kind of further that point here with the box score, the Dodgers scored in the 3rd, the Rays in the 4th. The Dodgers and Rays both scored in the 5th. Both teams scored in the 6th. Both teams scored in the 7th. And when both teams scored, those counts, or when both of those teams score in each of the half innings, that counts as a new one. So, new record in World Series baseball. Actually, a few new records, because Randy Arozarena has now the most home runs in a single postseason ever by one player. That was set today. He broke a few records, and the Dodgers turn a nice 4-3 double play to end it off the bat of Randy Arozarena, who they silenced, which is huge. But yeah, Randy Arozarena hit his 9th postseason home run, which set a record. Now this consecutive half innings record. Arozarena also the other day broke Derek Jeter's rookie record for most hits in a postseason by a rookie. A lot going on. This has been a World Series to remember. A lot of fun, and it's still not over yet. So the bottom of the 7th is over. This game is tied 6 runs apiece. The Dodgers have played at 6. The Rays have played at 6. We go to the top of the 8th, And it is game 4. So incredibly important for both teams to win. Dodgers and Rays winning for different reasons. The Dodgers look to win this one, so LA is just one game away from a World Series victory. But the Rays want to avoid that at all costs and even up the series at 2 wins apiece, hoping to take their first series lead tomorrow in game 5 with Tyler Glasnow on the mound. Now we just need to make now we just need the Mariners to make the World Series. Yeah, I mean, honestly, let's get the Mariners in there. You know, let's see a whole bunch of teams make it in. But yeah, I mean, they're gonna have their time. They're working on a young team and stuff. They will grow and they will have a successful season. Hopefully by the end of the decade, I think they can start to go pretty far. Not even that long from now. I don't think, you know, they really need 4 seasons, maybe 3 or 4 seasons to really get something going, give or take. So, guys, that is going to end it for me tonight. We're going to call it a day. I'm leaving you in the top of the 8th. This game is tied. It is game 4 of the 2020 World Series. Dodgers lead 2-1 in the set. Before we go, a couple big thank yous to each and every one of you guys who tuned in at one point or another on the stream. Could not be here without you guys. Further, thank you to all the new members of the team joining the community who clicked the subscribe button because of this live. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for joining and for becoming a part of this journey for me and for the channel and for all of you guys as well, because I would not be here without you all. Finally, I want to go ahead and say a big thank you to Robbie Hyde, who was giving me some shout outs in his live. Please go ahead, check him out using the link in the live chat as a big thank you. Tell him I sent you. Tell him you came from the live stream. Let him know that we are all in this together as a baseball community, and that we want to go ahead and thank him. So go check out Robbie Hyde. I will go ahead, post his link to his channel in the chat one more time. Please go ahead, check out Robbie. The last 2 innings of this game, he will be live in the 8th and 9th. He's been live this entire game. Go check him out using that link. Watch the end of the game with him. React with him. Thank you all so much for watching. It's a tight game. I am going to go ahead and end it here. Take care to everyone in the chat. Thank you all so much for your continued support. I will see you all next time. If you enjoyed, I'm going to drop a like, comment down below, and subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching. Oh, link says not found. I will go ahead, update the link really quick. Sorry about that. Okay. Let's go ahead and try that again. You can also type in Robbie Hyde on YouTube. That is his channel name. I'm going to go ahead and link his live right now really quick so you guys can access that, because I do want you to go ahead, let him know that you are joining, that you're from the channel. Okay, so copying the link. Going to go ahead and post it in stream right now so you guys have it. Go ahead, check out Robbie Hyde. Robbie, thank you so much for the shout out. Maybe we can do something together this offseason, get a collab going once this World Series is all said and done. Good luck to you with YouTube. I am continuing to look forward to all the content that you put out. Big fan of yours. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in today. If you enjoyed, don't forget to drop a like down below, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you all so much for everything. I would not and could not be here without you guys. Good night. Have a safe night and a safe weekend. Enjoy the rest of this World Series. I hope to see you guys again soon, live, hopefully tomorrow, for Game 5 of the World Series. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all next time. Peace.